1,000 tons more than the Edmund Fitzgerald weighed. The shipping crew was born to be tough when the gals and all them the ship was afraid of the American side, coming back from some mill in Wisconsin. Big freighters go, it was better than most, with the crew and good captain well seasoned. The corn came late and the breakfast had to wait. The way smoke all the railing. Every man knew as the captain is hell, which of November comes blessed.
I was enjoying that intro, man. That was very good.
Technical difficulty here.
Yeah, what is happening?
Sure, small just matrix is.
Yeah, you are. You're glitching.
Not right now.
Yeah, it's the audio is choppy. Hold on. Yeah, how about that, man? I'm trying to go to the. I was totally into the intro tonight. Test. Do it. Now I can hear it.
Good guys. I want to welcome the SmallmouthCrush.
Choppy, bro. You're cutting out. I still can't hear you. Can you guys hear Travis? Let's go. Now all you got to do is say you're going to talk about the gray areas, and here's what's happening.
Okay, here we are.
There it is. There it is. Because I was about to launch an investigation into the.
Okay, what's going to happen, guys? If I do, there may be a moment where I'm going to just have to read the system.
I think you might have to.
It could take 3 to 5 minutes. I'm talking now. I can hear.
Yep. You're definitely getting some technical interference.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Remember, the comments that pop up are from 45 seconds ago.
I'm listening to you live, though.
And it's choppy?
Yeah. I mean, you kind of got to talk for more than a 3-word sentence. And let's see.
Okay. How?
Again, a word just cut out. What could it be, do you think? Now you're frozen. Now I can't hear any words at all. It's definitely a problem. Yep, you're out. Yep, no sound at all.
I'm going to log out, and you might have to continue the show for a little bit.
I can do it.
Could you tell us if there's anything new with Bass Lab?
I sure will. I'll start right now, and you log out and come back when you're ready. All right, everybody. What's new, man? So we've got this is going to be a really good show tonight. Travis and I have a couple weeks ago there was an after hours with Great Lakes Finesse, and man, my mind was blown. Anyway, more on that later. So hang with us as Travis fixes his technical difficulties, and I'll go through what's new at the Bass Lab. What's new at the Bass Lab? Thanks for asking, everybody. And I think Matthew Weimer was the first guy tonight. And yes, he did. He said, what's new at the Bass Lab? So let's go. Hey, let's go through a roll call real quick. We got Doug Stewart, who's the West Coast trucker. Michael Siebold, Thomas Michael Siebold. Oh, yeah, the grayer is going to be good. DJ Steve, man, thank you very much, man. Stephen B. from Wisco. We appreciate you. E-Stack, always in the house. Brian Wisniewski. Hey, many of you guys tune in every night and every Monday night. We really appreciate you doing that. So, hey, I'll give you a little tournament report from Bugs Island. We fished Kerr this weekend. 135 teams, and me and Captain Scooter Lilly got back on the water. As you guys know, it's been a rough spring for him, man. He lost his dad, but I was happy to see him, man. They gave him a great send-off, and we got back after it. And we came in 11th out of 135 teams, man. We fished really clean. The fish were in all stages. We saw some bass fry, so that means a group had already spawned. We saw some spawners. and there were fish offshore getting ready to move up. So you had all three patterns going. So weighed in 1447 and one cull away from really getting into that top 5. 19 was first, and then it like dropped to 17, then lots of 16s, 15s, 14s, like we were several ounces out of moving a couple places up. So it felt good to get back in the tournament circuit, man. Really enjoyed it. Again, we fished clean, didn't lose anything. So we're looking to get back after it, not this next weekend, but the weekend after next on out of Plymouth on the Roanoke River. How many of you guys are fired up to see the elite fish the Pasquotank River? That's an area that connects to the Almar Sound, and that's a place I fish with Scooter. So I'm pretty stoked about seeing how they approach it, what happens. You guys know the big news. Scott Martin has resigned from the elites. So there's going to be a lot of conversation this week. I think we got Travis back. Let's hear him.
Hello.
Give me a sound check. Oh, that sounds much better so far.
Good.
Yay. He's back, everybody. I was just giving him a rundown of the Kerr tournament this weekend, the upcoming Elite Series on the Pasquotank, and, did a little roll call, man. So that's what we covered tonight.
Good. Before we get into it, of course, we're going to do a little prize package on this short live this evening. It's called the Super Chat. Here's how you enter. And while we're doing it, I'm going to go through the prize package, if you don't mind.
I dig it. And then I'll get into what's new at the Bass Lab. Go
for it. We covered that while I was rebooting.
No, man, I covered a little bit of current events. I covered a little bit of what happened to my weekend.
I told you. That's all right. I look forward to having to sit through that. First up is a Smallmouth Crush sticker.
That's worth $250 at least value.
We have a Cortland line T-shirt.
That's pretty cool. I like that logo. Not sure what it has to do with line, but I like it. Uh-oh. You're out again, Travis. No audio. I swear. I mean, I can narrate. You can hold things up. Now you're frozen, bud.
Hello?
You can't keep talking. One word won't get it. We won't know.
Hello, test.
Sounds good so far.
Okay, I have no idea what's going on.
I do.
And I really want to get through this.
I know you do. Me too. And I think everybody else that's watching. All
right,
what else you got?
T-shirt.
We got it.
Beast Coast hoodie.
Ooh, very nice. That's at least $49.95.
And then I have a huge Monster Bass, Great Lakes Finesse. I mean,
it's good.
You guys know how the Super Chat works.
That's right. Hey, what size is that T-shirt and that hoodie? Just so
extra large beanie.
Not bad beanie. The ever-present Mercury beanie.
Look at this stuff that's in here, you guys. Great Lakes Finesse items, snack straws. Like this is probably the best.
You're out again, Travis. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you, bud. Yep.
Sure, I'm going to fight through this.
It's going to be tough. Yamamoto what?
Just a Zacco. Just a huge.
Okay, Zacco, just asking, bud. It's okay.
Huge prize pack. Biggest we've ever given away.
Biggest?
I think.
All right.
I got you guys. Thomas Lee, MC's in.
Yeah, and MC the Hammer's in for $5. He says $5, make him holla.
Okay.
All right. Very good, man.
I don't understand fucking things right now. Hold on.
Gotta watch the language, man. Gotta watch the language. Anybody can guess what I'm shaking.
People are pissing me off for no reason. Okay.
And I'll send you one. Custom painted. I shook it. Now, let's see. It's a lipless. I'll give you that clue and that clue only. Thomas Michael Seabold's in for $2.
He was there earlier. Now he's back in?
He's got 2 entries, so you got to count them twice.
Okay,
I think
good.
maybe he figured out how to work the system. And Grad 84 says it's solar flares. And people want to know, is it snowing up there right now? Travis? Travis? Travis?
No.
Okay. It's not snowing. It has a one knocker and some rattles. Got
right.
both. Snowing.
My ego wants to get mad right now, but I'm not going to.
Don't do it, man.
No, I have
Mooson's
technical issues. It's nothing against me.
Hey, true.
If
Listen,
people
Flock
don't,
Mooson's in for 20. That's
there
gotta
you
make
go.
you
Flock of
smile.
Moose.
Look at that, man. Not Flock Mooson is in for 20.
Waves.
Oh, Waves,
is
man.
in. Oh wow.
Dude,
Waves is moving to
wow.
Champlain.
That's big, Waves. Congratulations, man. Hopefully we'll see you up there this year. Right, Travis? Potentially.
Yes, I'm going to try to fight through this. I think I have a bad connection.
I think that's probably what it is. No signal again, bud. Yeah. What are you working with up there? What are you working with up there?
Hold on. Just let me check something out.
Okay. Go ahead.
Can you tell us what's new at the Bass Lab?
I sure can. All right. Let's do the Bass Lab. You guys might have already seen this, but I'm going to show it again, man. I'm going to show my little micro tackle boxes, man. New at the Bass Lab, man. You guys know what this is, so I'm not even going to pretend like you don't. But check out that, man. Look how organized that is. I keep a set of these, and I'm going to show you all of them. Let me try to do this for the camera. I put this in my go bag, which is basically a backpack, and I have it in the top. I've got it in the top, so they're all labeled up top. I sell these on the Bass Lab. Sorry for the labels being upside down, but you can see it. Anyway, I've got like 6 versions of it, man, and I've tried to put cool stickers on them. So Ned rig. And what I like about this is when I'm Ned rigging, if I'm with Travis, I'm Nedding. I break off on the rocks because that's invariably you're going to get snagged in 20 foot, 30 foot of water. Dude, I could just like reach into my pocket and boom, I open it up and I've got a new Ned rig. So it's got foam here, and you can put you can probably put like 6, 7 in there, depending upon what size you've got. And then on the backside, which I really like for my drop shot, I've got a little backside compartment where I can keep my weights in different sizes, depending upon what I'm drop shotting, because you're going to lose some drop shot weights, and then you keep your hooks in there. These are on the Bass Lab, available now. I sell them in individual or sets. So each one of them comes with a different sticker. I think they're really cool, man. And they fit in the front pocket of my tackle pack, like super organized, super nice. I used them this weekend, and it's fantastic, man. I'm pretty proud of it. So a little bait hack for me, a little reuse of something I do. You guys know what it is. So thank you very much. And
Brian, we got you. Brian's in for 20 on the super chat.
Look at that, man. Dude, you're doing good tonight, man.
That's a nice little box.
Yeah, that's my little super tanker box, man. So the next time I come up and see you, I'm gonna have it's a fly box, guys, and I just slap my sticker on there. And then I might sell these in kits. I don't know, man. Put some of my football shaky jigs on there. You guys have seen it in some of my everlasting drop shotters. If you'd be interested in making these, let me know, man. Because and this is my new color that I just came out with. This is called Money. And you could see it. It's kind of an olive with some green pumpkin skirting and a little bit of crystal flash in there. You can kind of see it right there, just enough. And you pair that with your favorite trailer. I really love, and Travis, I know you put this on your link in Travis's link in his bio. If you ever hear me mention a bait, man, please go to SmallmouthCrush, the YouTube description. It's got a link to his tackle warehouse. I love this with a Nico leech. It's a little bit different, and I'll use Travis's SmallmouthCrush Magic Super Gel. Yeah, this little marabou just gives it a little fluffy look. It's a marabou-like material. It's not marabou, but it's very sparse, but it's got a lot of action. It's on a Gamakatsu hook, and it's just a dynamite little package. I've scored many 6-pounders with Travis up there. So, and then coming up soon, man, I'm going to have the Helgi version of it. That's new at the Bass Lab. with a Hellgrammite tail. You can just add scent to that. It accepts it. It's indestructible. And there you go, guys. That's what's new at the Bass Lab.
What's up, JP? Welcome to the show.
Travis, you're out again.
What's going on, fellas? Oh yeah, Eric, congratulations on your big finish with Scooter down there at Kerr Lake this weekend. Travis, I just want the viewers to know that I have had 3 phone calls with Travis over the last 5 days. Every phone call went just about 20 minutes. It was a pleasure to have them phone calls with a good buddy. You know, we're getting geared up, we're getting ready to go, baby. It's time to start catching smallmouth bass. Oh yeah. Can't hear you, Travis.
We've been having technical difficulties since the start of the show, man. It's not an Excalibur.
It goes in and out. I'm going to try to plug it into another portal.
Oh, David Zickus has got my jig tied on right now, man. That's awesome, David. Hey, man, David, send me a picture, man. I'll post it up on the IG. I should have a little contest. Who's going to catch the biggest smallmouth on my little football shaky jig, man? What do you think, JP?
I'm gonna have one tied on this for Friday. I'm gonna drag that little. I got that olive colored one that you just held up. You sent.
Yeah.
Here. I'm tying it on, baby. I'm catching one on it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. They come in 1/8 ounce, 3/16. So right now they're the lightest jig on the market in terms of football finesse jig, man. So in shallow water, to me, finesse is just that. So it gives it a little bit different sink rate, a little bit.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
you're not snagged as much. So get them while you can is all I'm telling you, because you'll be the only guy on the St. Lawrence with it, or Ontario, or Oneida, or wherever you fish for smallmouth. 1/8 ounce, 3/16. Don't sleep on those, by the way. Don't sleep on it. I know a little something about that.
All right.
What else? All right, Travis, you back, bud?
I apologize for everything, guys.
It's okay.
Did I say I had to pee earlier?
No, you did not.
I didn't think so.
But you did it last week.
I get so damn confused.
But remember last week you told us that I said it was TMI or PMI? Too much information. TMI, right. PMI, man. Or private mortgage insurance, whatever you like. Oh, hey, one last thing. I know a lot of guys like glide baiting. I'm thinning down my herd because my elbows cannot take throwing 3 to 4 ounce glides a lot.
Oh, glide bait. I thought you said live baiting.
No, glide bait. So this is a high performance herring.
Nothing's gonna eat that, Eric.
Oh, dude, shut up. What do you even know about it? I showed you the power of glides. The first time I went with Travis down to Alabama, we're fishing on a private lake. Jimmy Houston's there that week. Travis, these cruisers were more like the buck bass. They're cruising the bank. There's a few on beds. There's no big females. And we're riding along, and it's perfect glide bait weather, by the way, guys. There's a little bit of a ripple on the water. The sun's up. And I see this like with my eyes. I see a little drop, and I'm going, if the bucks are up, the females are off this drop. So Travis takes a phone call. And he goes, take the front, bud. And I have a Gancraft.
Have a different mic.
Yeah, Gancraft, slow sinking, 230. And JP, I fire a cast out the front of the boat, right along the drop. You can see it because the water is crystal clear. And you can see this drop. And dude, I start chopping that glide, and she's going, boom, boom, and then I do a couple little chops like this, real fast chops. I go, tunk, tunk, and dude, this 6+ pounder goes, whoa, and I watch the bite. Lean into that fish, man. That drove Travis crazy, man. Landed at 6 right there on that Gancraft. Anyway, but if you're interested in this HPH, you can reach out to me directly. They're really, really tough to find. You got to wait. I don't know, man. It's a high performance herring. I don't know why they call it a herring, because it is a shad. It's a misnomer. You could reach out to me directly. So, and let me know. There you go. On Instagram, you guys know what my Instagram is, Epic Eric Official or Epic Eric's Bass Lab. So I'll put that in the comments for anybody new to the show. And by the way, since it's coming up on buzzbait season, and right now it should be for most 55 degrees, that's another thing that I've got available on the Bass Lab. I took the skirt off. This is an 1/8 ounce or a 1/4 ounce. This is a finesse buzzbait, one of the best ever made. Same guy that used to make the Cavitron. And don't sleep on a small buzz bait, especially in pressured waters. If you fish rivers, grass beds,
Let's try
and you
this
fish
again.
around the competition, this is something you need to think about. And that I replaced the skirt with a Z-Man, Z-Crawl, not a Z-Man. I'm sorry, a Zoom Z-Crawl Junior. And that goes for any buzz bait. It's one of my favorite buzz bait trailers ever made. And I do a little dab of super glue on there and that Z-Crawl Junior. And I don't have to use a trailer hook when I'm using that. That bulkiness of that bait helps that fish suck it down too, by the way. So there's a reason to throw it skirtless and replace it. You ever do that, JP?
Yes, I have, Eric. I can tell you right now, though, the average water temperature up here is between 36 and 42 degrees.
Oh, my gosh.
I went to Ticonderoga on Saturday with my father.
Oh, my God.
High, muddy, and 40
Test,
degrees.
test.
All right. You're looking good, man.
Can you hear
It
me?
sounds good. We got you, man. You're good. You're good. What do you think it was? You changed your mic and all of a sudden it's fixed?
I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm a little frustrated right now.
All right. It'll be all right, man. It'll be
Yeah.
all right. Okay, good. Good. Hey,
Hey,
have a
I'm
lot,
glad to
Ryan.
get caught up with what's going on in the Bass Lab. There's a lot going on in the fishing industry. Travis has an extremely bright light hitting him in the right side of his face right now. And we're just wondering, what is the big topic of discussion tonight on Smallmouth Crush? Oh, yeah.
Just
Uh-oh,
kidding.
you're
Just kidding.
that was good. You got me, man.
Yeah.
Good one, Travis. Hey, look, he's back. No, we know you're kidding. You're not gonna get me twice in a row. I guess he is, man. He's out again, Big JP. You're out again, bro. Unless you're just goofing with us twice.
I'm not going to do it twice, dude. So
That's what I thought.
changed mics, so new connection. So it's something.
It's in the ether. And since
Okay.
you're the star of the show, this is important that you get it right.
And I really have a really good dialogue and some good conversation tonight that I want to make sure.
Yeah, you got to get it right, dude.
Mike,
This is important,
that.
man. This is important.
So we're just going to go. And then obviously every 4 to 5 minutes I cut off and I have to reboot it. And I don't see how we're going to fix the problem right now.
All right. Show's canceled. We'll come back next week
Nope.
and try again.
What I
Nope,
might
you're gonna
do,
stick with it. All right.
I got an
Let's talk.
idea.
Phone. Phone.
No, I'll take off the displays and I'll just go on the computer. You don't understand, but I'll figure it out.
You mean the displays? You won't have like the Thayer's Marine logo up there? Is that what you're saying?
No. Just let me deal with it, bud. Don't ask questions, please.
Okay, that's fine. Deal with it. What would you like us to do? You want me and JP to carry on a conversation while you work on your technical?
No, I
We're
want
happy to do it for you.
I want to try to get through this if we can.
Okay, well then it's up to you to start it because you are the star of tonight's show. You are the man with the gray area. You are the man that knows about the grays. All the grays.
Yeah.
You have the floor. Are you
I
ready?
know. Give me a second.
Okay. Big JP, what's new in your world, man? I heard you went out fishing this weekend with your dad.
Yeah,
That's not going to
me and
help.
my father, we went up to Champlain on the lower end. It was high, muddy, and cold. I got a phone call from Richie at Thayer's on Friday. My boat got dropped on Friday. They're trying to have it ready for me for pickup on Wednesday, so I'll have it for this weekend, which would be great.
Yep.
If not, I got Plan B in place, no problem. And the official start of the guiding season for Big JP starts on Saturday morning.
And how was the fishing with your dad on the? You said you went to Champlain.
Yeah, we fished down in Ticonderoga. Like I was saying, it was high, muddy, cold. We caught 2 bass, 1 5, 1 4.5. It was just cold and muddy, and the fish have not moved into the back pockets yet. We jumped a beaver dam to get back into this one little area where we thought maybe they would have moved into, and they did not move in yet. So,
man, jumped a beaver dam with your dad in the boat.
I tried to get over it with the trolling motor. And then
Yeah.
the boat went about halfway across and got stuck. And it got stuck so bad that the trolling motor couldn't get it off. So then I'm like, sit down. So he sits down. So I put it in reverse. I smashed the gas. The boat starts moving back. And then I just slammed it in forward and smashed the gas. And the boat went up on the log. And then it up, and boom, it went down. And we were in.
Oh, nice, man.
He gave me the look
So-
here. He goes like this, right? He goes like this. He looks at me, right?
You didn't happen to be slow rolling a ditch melon spinnerbait, did you?
I was definitely slow rolling a spinnerbait, baby.
But was it in that color?
No,
No,
it was not.
you got to add that. I know you're really stuck on that one you got, man, but you got to add the ditch melon to the repertoire one day, man. The old ditch melon, bro.
I'll tell you, we started off fishing Main Lake Rock with traps, dragging traps slow on the rocks, and
yeah,
wasn't getting nothing going. And then I hit some pockets and got nothing going. Then we hit some dead reeds and had nothing going.
You
I
made
think
your
it was
progression. You were
dude,
just
it was
progressing.
finally at like 10 o'clock, I caught a 5. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that's
Water.
cool.
Was it sunny at all? Did the water start to warm
No,
up?
it was raining and cloudy. So there was
oh man,
no
you didn't get
temperature
any.
change.
You got no boost from the sun, man. So
We got
a high muddy.
nothing.
Was it high, muddy, and cold, all three together because of the
Yeah.
cold rain?
And
Oh
so
man,
literally
tough.
on the main lake, you had 2 inches of visibility, and it was high, and it was 40 degrees. It was cold.
How deep was that fish that you caught?
6 feet.
Okay, and your dad caught one that was how deep?
It was 6
Same.
feet. He caught it in pretty much like there was a point that came out, right? I had caught my
Yeah.
fish on the left side of the point. We fished
He
that
caught his on
whole
the
way
right.
back.
Isn't that
And
amazing?
then we went and fished like 6 spots, and then I went back and I hit the right side of the point, and he caught the other one. So then I'm like, well, there's some fish on this point, so we'll just spend some time here, right? And got nothing.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, man, that's tough. That's tough. Toughest conditions, I think, are cold, high, muddy water.
All right.
You're back.
I'm going to be kind of looking slightly down the rest of the evening.
Well, you're kind of down on the whole thing, and you're slightly looking down, so it maps. You're good.
Yeah, good.
We'll lift you up. We'll lift you up, man. All right. You want to switch to the other side, or would you like to be on this side? There you go. You look better there.
Thank
So
you.
you're supposed to be.
I think we're good now.
I think it sounds way better. No choppiness. I think we're back, man.
All right. We want to talk tonight about some of the gray areas in fishing, some of the rules, things like that. Obviously, I don't want to name names this evening, but I'm going to share some personal information and some experiences with everyone. And we'll have a discussion about it. How about that? Because of some of the big things that have happened in the last couple days.
Right.
And I just want to get a few things off my chest about that.
All right. Let's
So,
talk it.
where do we begin?
Well, tell us. Set it up.
Okay. I will.
Do that.
I want to start with a personal story.
All right.
A lot of you know.
Yeah.
I haven't started bass fishing until 2007. I was strictly Great Lakes, salmon, trout, and doing some walleye in Wisconsin. It wasn't until 2007 that I really got introduced into bass fishing. That's why 2008 is when I got my first bass boat. I entered some local tournaments on local bodies of water, did okay, and decided in 2010, 2 or 3 years later, to try to qualify for the Elite Series. The first event was on Lake Champlain. All I did, and this will segue into a few other pieces of, some topics that we'll discuss. But at that time, we had a 30-day, maybe it was 30 days off limits in the opens. Okay.
Yeah.
At that time, there was still, the learning curve, obviously now, and even back then, I think it was pretty good.
Okay.
Would you agree? I'm asking. I mean, I'm sort of whatever.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think you have
There's a lot of information out there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty good.
So I literally, when I knew I was going to Lake Champlain, I studied and watched every video, every Bassmaster, every big tournament that was on the internet, any article, any forums, just for months and months and hours, I gathered information. Okay.
Yep.
And then it was a magical thing because the first place I laid my eyes on when I saw the lake was where I led on day one and was able to do well in that tournament. And I got zero information from anybody in that event. Okay.
All right.
Now, once I knew, oh crap, I kind of have a shot. I'm doing well in points, and it's not as hard as I thought it would be. Right.
Okay.
The next event was Lake Erie. I did the same thing, but because I also gathered information on all these spots prior to the first event, but leading up to it, I was able to get information legally prior, and I reached out. And what did I do? I reached out to local guides, big shots in tournaments, anyone that would take my email or phone call.
Yep.
And somebody reached out back to me and said that they would kind of help me out. And so they may have been fishing as a co-angler even. And we went out and practiced, and he showed me how a part of the system sets up where you could sight fish for fish. Okay. And he showed me definitely things I didn't think about. And the number one thing I learned from this guy was I was fishing a drop, and he wanted me to catch these fish they would go up shallow and they would be down deep too. Literally 30 feet over here, 4 feet over here on the same cast. Okay.
Yep.
But this goes for miles. And
wow.
I broke it down and found two really key areas. And the biggest tip I got from him was to get shallow to pull the schools in, not out. Okay. When you catch a fish, others follow. Okay.
Sure. I like
that
it.
was it. And in
That's
that event, I was able to do well. I think I took 8th or 9th and did good. Okay. Then the last one was on the Chesapeake. And out there, I reached out to other key people. And actually,
anybody I know?
Of course, I'll get to that. And one of the guys I reached out to was someone that I met at a hotel at the Detroit event named Jack, our friend Jack.
Oh, wow. Jack Rinker.
And so Jack, who's also fishing the tournament, decided to share information with me. And during practice, I ran into John Venor and a few other guys. And they really they did it the right way where, even though they didn't really know me, they were all legit in the information that they were telling me.
Right.
Yep. Lyrad 64, we got you. We'll write you down here.
That's right. That's right.
Super chat. Okay. And so I was able to, the information it gave me, I don't remember. I fished it a little differently. I made a long run. I fished this little stretch. I don't know if nobody took me down to that zone, but not that I wasn't great. I believe me, because I fished the Chesapeake for many years after that, and the stuff that they showed me was legit stuff. I just ended up fishing a different deal. Okay.
Right.
I was able to qualify for the Elite Series. Now, being in the Elite Series at that time, we had for sure a 30-day, I believe it was 30 days off limits. Okay. So
off
that
limits, as in you can't practice or no information.
No information has been on the water. Okay.
Just checking. Yep.
So I go and fished almost all of the bodies of water over the wintertime, maybe 3, 4, 5 days. In that time frame, I did the same thing. I reached out to people.
Yep.
It was very hard to get any more information on those bodies of water, though. And I realized from talking to some of the elite guys that this is how it's done. And I was like,
what do you mean?
What
do you mean now? Okay.
T. Moss, we got you in. Yeah, it's going to be a very long story, T. Moss. So the name of the game is you contact a local stick, and believe me, I tried, and the local sticks were already working with elite guys, okay? They were all gobbled up. I found a few.
Okay.
And I made deals with them. It was 10% of winnings. So if I made a check,
wow,
they get $10,000. They get $1,000. If I won, they get 10. Okay.
wow.
So
Really?
that's how it goes.
Okay. This is huge. You're telling me that that's how people were doing it, and you had contacted a bunch, and they had already made those financial deals
With the pros.
That's incredible.
Yep.
All right, I got to stop right here.
Yeah.
Is this new information? Like, we have 223 people watching now. Big JP, first I'm going to ask you because you're live. Did you know that was being done?
No.
Okay, so it's new to Big JP, not new to me. Guys that are watching, how many people is this new information to, that big name pros have been making deals with guides and or local sticks to share winnings if they give them information that's going to help them win? I'm wow. I bet that's a shocker to a lot of people. Not new info to wouldn't doubt it. CUDA +1, not sure what that means. Phil Bass, new to me.
I don't know if it's written. I don't know.
Yep.
So anyways, that's kind of how
All
the
right.
system somewhat worked. Okay.
Okay.
Now,
all right.
I'm sure not everyone was doing that, but a lot of people I try to reach out with, and these were like, Diggs, we got you in.
Very interesting. Somebody said, Thomas Fisher said, figured that wouldn't be allowed, but really surprising. See, I think, it's amazing. A lot of people didn't know so far.
Okay.
I mean, I'd say the majority didn't know this.
And that's fine. I'm going to try to, like I said, I'm going to try to disclose some things that I know for sure. I'm going to disclose some secondhand, very good knowledge, and I'm not going to name names tonight at all. Okay.
Yep.
So that's been going on, and all the big, I'm talking like when you look up tournament records and people that are consistently in the top 10, those guys were already working with somebody.
Wow.
Or they had personal relationships with a lot of the guys too. You know?
Sure.
So someone brought up a good question. Have I gotten calls from elites? I absolutely have.
Me too.
And we can share some of those. Some stories. Not all.
Maybe.
And I'm not naming names.
Interesting.
I'm going to tell you a couple things.
All right.
That goes on. And I think it's different. First of all, I just want to let you know. Would most of you agree especially back then when we didn't have live cameras in the boat all the time?
Right.
When you got to realize these pros, first of all, for those that don't know, the majority of elite anglers have financial backing from family money, a business, a friend, something.
Right.
They're not doing it on $80,000 a year salary working for a sales, whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's obvious. Okay. It's a very expensive sport.
And what year was this, Travis? Somebody want to know. Chuck Rose, good question.
11 and 12.
All right, 2011 and 12. This is when Travis was in the Elite Series. All right, keep going, brother.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
And if you think I'm getting, because I want to give it, I know we're all over the place tonight, and that's kind of want to have this discussion.
You're doing good. You're doing good.
I'm going to plug this stupid computer in. Hold on. Okay, so all right, so let me plug that in. There we go. Okay. Where was I, man?
2011 and 12. You said they're
about 3 weeks ago, guys. About 3 weeks ago, when we had Great Lakes Finesse on, and Alex the intern, we all stayed on after the live stream and chatted exactly about this topic for probably 2 hours. And it was, I would say, pretty mind blowing, entertaining to us. Right? We had a good conversation about that.
Yeah, we did. Mind blowing for them.
Okay. So What else here? I had a little. Where are we at, JP? Help me out.
You were talking about how a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
Great
Okay.
Lakes
Okay. I'm back. I want to set the stage.
Yeah.
When an angler is sponsored, especially by back then, there was a lot of large tackle companies were pumping a lot of money in,
and non-endemic sponsors too back
that's a
then.
little bit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when they would catch their fish, regardless if it was on this worm, but they're sponsored by this company, they're going to say it's this company. So they already lie to the general public, to their fans and audience. That is a fact. Okay. Do I think that's right? I don't know. If I'm not going to tell you what bait, I'm just not going to say anything. I'm not going to tell you call on this when I didn't. Okay.
Sure.
So we already know these people lie, right? That's what it is. They're deceiving their fans and the public.
Okay.
It's a little harder nowadays to do that.
Sure.
And I don't want to disturb anything, but this is just a reality. And I'm not saying it's going on today. And so maybe there's like we can forgive and forget. But there was large sponsors that also went out to work for the anglers that they sponsored to locate areas with individuals and guides and networks to put those guys on the fish.
Wow. You mean during the off limits or
I can't say. Let's hope it wasn't.
Right. So okay, gotcha. So then not only did they have the financial backing, but they had a network of people working to help them find the fish.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's new information to me. I mean, now that I think about it, sure, I can imagine, if somebody was sponsored by X company and they had a network of people that lived on Kentucky Lake. Why not help the guy promote your product, right? Because that's good for business.
Yeah.
All right. Keep going.
Okay. I think I said enough there. I'm just saying potentially it could have happened. Is that fair?
But well, I mean, you mean during the off limits
or during? Yes, because I think
yeah. Like before the off limits, that would be fine. If you got that information from your sponsor prior to the 30-day off limits, there's no breaking of a rule. It's just that you're more networked and you've got more support, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Even though this is supposed to be an individual.
Okay, here's
sport.
another game that happens.
All right.
Public information is allowed. You're allowed to consume and gather public information in the rules. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So what people have done is they will get together with their network, and their network will start a Facebook profile with a name.
Yep.
Devin Willis. Okay.
Yep.
That's my Facebook profile, guys. I'm going to type in what information I know about this specific lake at this time of the year and what's happening.
Wow.
But only 5 to 1 guy knows about that profile, but it's public.
Wow.
He's able to get his information that way.
Wow.
Does that make sense? Do you follow?
Wow. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So that goes on.
Yep. I'll add one story.
Sure. So
I hired the guy out of Bass. I saw a video ad where you could it was a video. This was maybe early YouTube days. And it was this guy that fished multiple tours, had done extremely well. He made a video of a finesse technique that I really liked. And he was out of Texas. And I'm like, you know what? I got a recruiter in Texas. And this recruiter loved to bass fish. So I said, hey, I want to hire you for that day. I want to bring my recruiter out. And I want you to put him on some fish. And so we got together. My buddy Charlie had a great day, caught like a 5-pounder. It was PB. That's when I first saw my first Reaction Innovations Sweet Beaver. And they were brand new. The guy's like, this is the best flipping bait ever invented because it's got glide to it. He showed me how to modify some EWG hooks at the time. I really liked him. I said, hey, I'd like to hire you for another day. So Charlie goes home. I stay. We go fish Conroe. I learn a lot. I start to interview him, obviously, about his experience on these pro tours. And I go, why'd you quit? And he goes, because I got tired of the top name pros getting to Kentucky Lake and being handed a chip with all the waypoints on it.
Sure.
For where the best ledge fish were. And I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, it shattered my dreams of some of the big names. And like, I marveled at the way they could catch them. And they were getting information that didn't seem to be a level playing field. You know what I mean?
I want to give a side. I want to say a bunch of things, but I'm really trying to figure out how to word this properly.
Yeah.
We got 2.5 days of practice.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
We're all pretty good anglers. Our viewers as well. Everyone fishes.
Yep.
It's very difficult to go on a body of water and in 2.5 days figure it out. Would you agree?
I would agree.
And you get lucky. Yes. Is there? I honestly believe this. First, I want to backtrack. I want to say this. The one downfall with bass, when the whole blow up with MLF and people left, and you know, I don't want to say bitter. I just discouraged. I don't know what it is because I don't want to be negative about this, but it's very discouraging to find out that there was anglers that may have fished for 4, 5, 6 years on the opens and never could even make a top 20 in angler of the year.
Yep.
And then one year they make a top 12, but because bass is looking to replace those anglers that left, they get invited into the Elite Series.
Yep.
There's anglers fishing today on the Elites that never fished a bass event prior to becoming an elite angler. So we have elite anglers that did not qualify, like they're putting pressure on, like not pressure, but the qualifications today for people that want to jump into bass. You have to go through this and finish in the top in angler year points in the opens. Well, there's a handful of guys that just got let in.
How'd they get in? Why do you think bass picked them?
I don't know. I don't know, but that's just one of my things that just never seems to be talked about. And that maybe that's fine.
I'm curious.
I don't know. Is it jealousy? I don't know what the emotion is. It just kind of.
Well, I think it rubs you the wrong way. It's a sport that, you know, like, hey, if you're an elite, you qualified to get there. You came up through the ranks. You won an open. I mean, I get why it bugs you. I think it would bug most people, right?
Yeah. And Waves has a good point. They had no choice but to lower their standards to fill the massive void from the MLF Exodus, Bass Pro Tour, I guess, at that time.
I mean, why not call people like you that had already qualified?
Sure. I mean, that's just one of my biggest issues. Okay, a couple other things we'll talk about. And like I said, we're going to try to be very vague about this stuff. But there's also anglers that, whether it's in the off limits, I'm just going to assume everything's done before the off limits. Okay.
Okay.
And this is totally legal. But guys with bigger networks would have people on their payroll. They would hire people to help them locate fish, patterns, things like that.
I mean, just pay them.
Correct.
Wow.
Now, the one thing that bothers me, and there's elite guys that have payrolls, and there's people that were on their payrolls that are also now fishing at the highest levels.
So that was kind of like you give, you get paid. So it's like this little network. It's interesting. Never knew that. Payroll.
Yep.
Paid people out there pre-fishing. And there's nothing illegal as long as it's done before the off limits. That's crazy.
Now,
you know, go ahead. Keep going.
There's been weird coincidences that I've witnessed in others, such as anglers that are fishing an event and their family members are also on the body of water, but at a location way away from where the tournament's going out of. But it just seems odd. And it's fine. They're legally allowed to fish, but it just raises some eyebrows when I saw that.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I think we all see, or at least I did when I was growing up, bass fishing as an individual sport. It's not a team event. And then you find out with this story that you just told me that there are teams. And we know that there are guys that pool resources today.
I've done it, JP. We've had teams in the opens.
Right.
I'm not saying any of this is a bad thing. I'm saying I honestly feel like if you are trying to do, this is your livelihood.
Yeah.
This is my whole point. You're going to do almost everything you can to get as much information as you can. You should be.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Right.
I didn't hit that comment, guys. That's Eric highlighting comment.
I did. Why do you gotta let people know who it was? You wouldn't have hit it? I mean,
I don't know. I don't know if it has any relevant. I don't know what we're trying to get at there, but
it was just something to make the people laugh.
Okay.
That's all.
I just noticed you highlighted the first one.
And because you hadn't highlighted any, you're talking, I'm looking.
All
and
right.
JP does not have that technology, so I thought I'd make it interesting
Now,
for the viewers.
I will, full disclosure, I will say this. I've had elite guys call me during the off limits and ask for information. Okay.
Right.
That does happen. So there it is. Where else are we going?
Keep going. You're doing good.
I know. I'm just trying to figure out what else we need to talk about.
That's up to you. You're the guy that holds the gray information.
There you go. Okay, here's another thing. I think this is where some of these elite guys may be getting into trouble.
All right.
And I am not singling out elites. I'm talking about fishing at the highest level or anywhere for that matter.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That kind of stuff does happen. So tell me if this is wrong, because I would do this probably.
All right.
Let's say I've never been to this. Well, hold on. Let's stop before we go there. I'll give you another example. Bay of Green Bay. It was a mystery event in 2012. There was an off limits from Sturgeon Bay out. We couldn't go past this line.
All right.
Now, I'm an idiot because I didn't even think about this. But the week prior, there was guides. Well, there was elite guys and guides and friends probably, that would go fishing together 100 yards from the cutoff line.
All right.
And they wanted to see what those fish were doing on this side of the lake, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm local to that area. I did not even think about doing that, and I probably should have. I could have got dialed in for sure on how those fish were reacting, and that would have helped my 2.5 days of practice.
Yeah,
that's what they do on Lake Ontario. When they go out of Messina and Waddington and they make the lake off limits, all the pros come up for the week before, and they go out on Lake Ontario and probably down as far as to the mouth as legally possible. And it's the same thing. It's the same body of water. You can get a real good feel as to what the fish are doing.
Yeah.
But that's legal.
Yeah. And so there's always things, we're always trying to push the limits. I'm going to tell you another thing. Apparently, and this is just a side note since JP's here, and this, you know how you're not supposed to stand above the gunnel? I see guys stay on their graphs for the last 5, 6, 8 years. Yet, when we bring a ladder to a little derby that uses bass rules as their template, we get DQ'd, JP.
Yep.
Which we deserved it. We didn't look at the rules.
Yep. 100%.
But guys are always standing above the gunnels and
Yep,
definitely
they're always on the
motors.
trolling motor. They're on the graphs now. That seems to be the big thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, where else are we going with this? Maybe one last thing. So let's say I've never been to the St. Lawrence River and JP guides up there all the time. This is how the conversation would go. Hey JP, how you doing?
What's up, Travis? How you been, man?
What's up, dude? Listen, I got a big tournament, obviously, on the St. Lawrence, so I can't talk about any information on the St. Lawrence at all. Okay?
Okay.
So I can't, no information. You understand that?
100%.
Perfect. So this tournament's in July. Okay? Let's say there's another river really close by that's very similar to St. Lawrence River. What would you suggest I do during that time frame that fishes like the St. Lawrence, but totally isn't the St. Lawrence River?
What time of July are we talking about, Travis?
It's going to be early July.
What's that? You cut out.
Early July?
Early July. Oh, okay. Man, I got to tell you, if it sets up just kind of like the St. Lawrence River would set up.
Well, yeah, but it's just a different river.
Oh, okay.
It has current, right?
Right.
How would you describe this different river?
I would describe it as a shallow water fishery that probably still has fish on beds.
Gotcha. Where would you look on that river?
Getting interesting.
I would be looking at flats adjacent to deep water that possibly don't have so much current rolling over the top of them.
Is there any flats you would prefer? Like maybe I should check out first? Like, is there, this river's big, just like the St. Lawrence. It's got like a couple towns on it. Like there's one similar to Clayton. There's one similar to Alexandria Bay. Out of those two towns that were similar on this river, where would you focus?
I would focus on the one closer to Clayton.
Okay, perfect. So stuff like that goes on, right?
Wow.
And yes, Sean's right. That's very general information. And I'm going to give you another point. And this, like, especially for up north, GPS spots are somewhat important. And all throughout the country, there's key areas that maybe somebody traveling wouldn't know about that a local would. But a lot of that information gets out. There's really nothing that these guys, when they come to a lake, they can't figure out or turn over. It's very hard to find any secrets. However, don't you think, like, I mean, even when JP's guiding and he gets on some fish and he gives me the exact waypoints, I can go there the next day and not catch a single fish. So I don't know if sharing waypoints like that is that important. Maybe it is. There's definitely some key stuff every once in a while. But for the most part, I don't even see how getting that information consistently can help an angler. Do you agree with that point, or am I way off on that?
I think that if you get a chip loaded up with primo waypoints, you are at a huge advantage.
Yeah.
Because some of them spots are going to end up playing out.
Mm-hmm.
Big time.
Mm-hmm.
Big time.
So I don't know. I mean, stuff like that happens, and maybe that's where people are getting into trouble. I don't think too many guys are blatantly asking for spots within the off limits.
I
don't know. But I think for the most part, Bass and the big organizations probably have a good handle. I think there's a lot of anglers that abide by the rules.
Mm-hmm.
I can't speak for Scott in the latest incident. I like Scott. We fished with his dad. I mean, I don't, who knows, you know? It's unfortunate, you know, it's his dream to win a classic because his dad won every major event. It's just strange that he just decided to leave. Like, I don't know, man. maybe he's just fed up with it. There's always two sides of the story. I feel bad for the situation. I think Bass is trying to do their best. I hear there's just so much negativity out there and stuff. Like I don't know. I'm so sick of all of that. I just wish we would. Whoever, it doesn't matter how you like to fish. If you don't like to use FFS or you do, who cares? I just posted a video, Eric, of us that we shared last week of us fishing the river.
Yeah.
Dragon. And some dude writes, oh, because four-face thorn is the only reason why he caught those fish. I think we used it to notice there was fish, but we're drifting current, dude. Like, we dragging 200 feet back.
I didn't look at anything. I mean, I know I wasn't. I mean, honestly, it was a total. That's why I really love dragging with you, because it's honestly, it's you're literally casting something that's dragging on the bottom. The boat is drifting, and you're feeling. You know, Travis set up this competition. It was my first day with him, and I hadn't been smallmouth fishing since the last time I went smallmouth fishing. And you are literally dragging in what 30, 40 feet of water, Travis.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
And so let me set it up. Travis is like, we're gonna drag rock, and like I've got this jig on. It's 3/8 ounce, probably, right? You're making a long cast, and it's like, let out more line, and you're letting this line out. You're letting this line out. You're letting this line out, and then it's like, okay, dude, flip the bail. You flip the bail, and literally, you have to use your senses. You got to go. It's like tick, tick, tick. He goes, I bet you I could detect a bite before you. So that was the game we were playing. And he did one time. Other times I knew I had a bite. So like literally, you'd be dragging, and you kind of know, or you're anticipating. You're not looking at a fish merge with your jig. No, I'm not looking at anything but my rod tip, because he's like, pay attention to the rod tip, dude. But I'm feeling with my G Loomis or whatever rod you like to throw. That is a magical moment for me. I loved doing that game with Travis. And then literally you hook this fish that feels like he's 200 yards out, and you see this fish just literally rocket towards the surface, and you're fighting him forever in current. It's a lot of fun, man. So nothing to do with forward.
We weren't, and it doesn't matter if we were. I don't care.
Well, I don't really care either.
I love using it, and I'll use as much as I can. Yeah. I also don't use it.
For you.
Whatever, man.
Whatever floats your boat, bro. Yeah, you just want to fish. That's right.
Getting back to bass and what's going on. Right. They need to just get rid of the no information rule.
Did you watch what the winner of Redcrest had to say in his post-tournament interview?
I don't even know who won, bud.
Oh, well, Dustin Connell won, but it doesn't matter who won. What he said
take him out of the lineup.
What he said was, if the negativity's got to stop. If you're bringing negativity to the tournaments, you're not welcome.
Yeah.
We should be bringing more positivity. We just had a guy that almost died from a neurological disease win the Bassmaster Classic. Any other year, it would have been a Cinderella story. And here we are. We got people like crucifying him like he's Christ.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Did we talk about that last week? We talked about that last week, didn't we? I mean, it's like, so I'm going to say something, and I'm going to say something to all of us, right? To me, it's the mood of the nation. I said this last week to you, JP. Just take a look at the news, and take a look at the division, and take a look at the hate on social media, and take a look at you're a Republican, I'm a Democrat, you hate me, I hate you, right? It's everybody's now got permission to hate and stand behind a screen name who's not you, right? I mean, a lot of people are who they are in our comment section, but some I don't know who they are, because the screen name is something that they've made up, so I don't know who they are. Maybe I could go find out. But you get the story. It's the mood of the nation, right? And it's the mood within bass fishing. People are just angrier in general, I feel like. And they're angry about bass. They're angry about bass not enforcing the rules in years past, right? They're angry about bass not coming up with standards on forward facing. So you get this whole snowball effect. Finally, they're doing something about what they view as a breach of the rules. I watched Dave Mercer and Lee Livesey. Lee Livesey said it's about time they tightened it up.
Okay.
Seth Feider had something to say about the angler that we're talking about tonight on Dave Mercer's show. If you watch that, you would see it. And so if that had been going on and they weren't doing anything about it, and we've all heard the stories and read the news, they were sweeping it under the rug. They weren't enforcing it. And so people's anger level goes up and up and up. So that's misplaced anger, and it does suck for him for sure. But finally, Bass is doing something about cleaning up their act. Ray Scott Maybe he put up with it, but I don't know. They say he wouldn't have, but I'm not sure. Who knows what was going on back then? They made the rules, apparently. I mean, everybody knows it's no secret for
Yeah.
Roland Martin
I
because he
guess-
was crafty. And he won legitimately, apparently. I
Maybe.
don't know.
All right. I guess I just threw it out, meaning I think it's too hard to regulate and protect that rule. The no information rule.
The no information rule.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you know what? I guess you're right, Travis. People are always going to cheat until they get caught.
I'm just
and then
saying, what
they'll
if,
have a story to
they
tell.
just said screw it?
Like the total free for all.
Yeah.
But I think that hurts their brand because then, like, who respects the angler that wins on their own? Do you respect a win if it's just Travis Manson winning an Elite Series without hiring any guides or without being part of a team? What win do you respect more? I don't have the answer to that, but maybe they would respect you more because you had the most money behind you. You were the best at gathering information. You were the smartest at taking the information in and then using it. You still got to go catch them. You still got to sift through all that you got, right? I don't know. I think there's a lot of ways to look at it, right? I mean, when you find out a football team has filmed a practice, the pregame warm-up, right? This is like a New England Patriots story, and I hope I don't offend a New England Patriots fan, but I was incensed. It made me angry to know that the Patriots, and I think I've got the story right, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, they filmed the Rams pregame warm-up for the Super Bowl, and they used that film against the Rams in the Super Bowl and won.
Is that illegal?
I think it is. If they got fined, I believe they got fined. I don't know if this is Eastack says I'm right. They got fined but kept the trophy. I would have vacated the trophy and given it to the Rams. There was a team in professional baseball that was hitting on a trash can. They were reading the signals that the catcher, because if you watch baseball, a pitcher looks at the catcher calls a curveball, a slider, and they figured out a way to call the signs, I think from the bullpen or something. I don't know if I've got that story right, but they cheated. So cheaters are not respected. In sports that don't clean up their act, people just get angry because it's a sport we all love and you want to see it cleaned up, right? It's like politics. We want to see it cleaned up. It's
do you
like
enforce
anything.
that?
I don't have an answer, but I know that here's one thing that was interesting to me. Lee Livesey, there's apparently an Anglers Council, and they're trying to, I guess John Cruz is the president of this council, and they're trying to work with Bass to affect change because it's a sport they love. Lee strikes me as a guy who's straight up. Seth strikes me as a guy who's straight up. Lee said cheating is stealing. You heard what Seth have to say. If you watch that, he didn't mince his words at all. He goes, rules are for cheaters, right? Like anybody who reads the rules is a cheater or something. I don't know if I agree with that, but he was trying to say something. And I think he said it really plainly. And he's a guy that's today fishes the Elite Series.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, man, I don't know the answer, but hopefully the anglers that are in that committee, John Cruz strikes me as a really straightforward guy, straight shooter. I know John. I hired him for one day on the water for a learning day for me on Smith Mountain Lake. I loved it. This is way before forward facing. He taught me a lot about how to read the water. We caught a lot of big fish. It was a really fun day. And I've kept that relationship up. I know Ed Lochran, who's sponsored by Missile Baits. Ed won a blue trophy up on Champlain. I think you guys remember that was his first elite win. And they've got John's father is apparently an attorney. And so they're working together as an anglers council to really affect change. And I think it has to do with some of the things we're talking about. And it's very interesting to me. I hope it does, because as a sport, I love professional bass fishing. And again, the first time I encountered the gray area that you're talking about today was when I hired that guy in Texas to take my recruiter fishing. And he told me about what went on behind the scenes. And I'm like, oh my God, it changed my view of some of my heroes of the sport. And it absolutely changed my view of professional fishing. And when I hear a story about a team cheating, I don't respect the team anymore. The ownership, I just can't. It changes my view of them. And so I think the anger, JP, you're hearing about, and you see, it's the mood of the nation. It's Republicans and Democrats hating on each other. Social media provides that mouthpiece for everybody. It's in our face if we pay attention to it. And they're just asking for things to change. And it's coming out as that crazy knuckleheads talk.
Yeah.
I don't know, that's my view on it. What to do? I think they're trying to do some things. Rule enforcement's one. I mean, we've seen more DQs in the last year than we've seen in a while, right?
Yeah.
Is that the right call? What do you think? JP?
Yeah. We got some super chats coming in. I'm not I know I got everybody in. So
All right.
we got 10 orange paint fun. That's not breaking the rules, I don't think, is it?
Orange paint, like painting a rock and throwing it in the water. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I don't know.
For the guys that are wondering, when water's dirty,
yeah,
and I know I'm gonna have a hard time the next morning. There you go, Flock. Thank you.
yeah.
When you know, all right, let me just set the stage. All right, bed fishing. It's one of my one trick I'll do if I know I'm not going to be able to see the bed the next day. If I know I'm going to hit that bed early in the morning, I know it's going to cloud up, I will put a spray painted rock on the whatever side I pick of the bed, mostly the north side, just so I can always know. Okay.
Yeah.
Guys used to put golf balls, things like that. I think that's polluting. So I just came up with throwing a rock in the water. That way I'm not polluting with golf balls or anything like that. And
but that you put paint on.
Okay. I don't know if that's legal or not.
All right. It brings up.
But I've done it at times, not every tournament.
It's fair. I'm just saying. Matthew Weimer says it's littering, and is it legal to put a painted rock in the water? I don't know.
I don't know there.
Check your. So I'll give you my first aha moment and lesson.
Hold up. No. Wait, you can. Let me make something.
All right. I'll hold that talk.
Let me say this.
Go ahead.
To all you people that call that littering, when I'm trying not to litter, because I'm not throwing golf balls, I'm throwing a rock that's painted. Every time a fish steals your Cinco and it falls off your hook and lands in the lake, that's littering too, you pricks. Okay?
Fair point.
So you're all polluting.
All right,
so don't hate on me.
Don't hate on him, Matthew. It's Matthew Weimer again.
I know who it is.
So I'm going to give you guys a lesson. I was a rookie in the Skeeter Owners Club. First year back in bass fishing after being out for a decade, way before Live Scope. So Ed Riley had been Mr. Bass in this club, right? And so we go out our first term of the year. There's a 110-year flood that's happened on the river. So it's high, muddy, and it is nasty. There are logs everywhere. And I'm going, we're still fishing? This is crazy. Multiple boats had their boat lockers frozen. It was very cold. March tournament, by the way. And so I go fishing. And I did well. I think I was top 3. Ed won it. And in our next meeting, we're standing in the garage at the Skeeter Owners Club, and Ed said, we got our limit within 15 minutes and won the tournament. And I'm like, really? Okay. Apparently, they had built a 2x4 structure, this massive structure, and spray painted a piling and put it under Blue Plains, which is a dock, right? That's a good one. And so I was like, man, you're proud of that win, Ed? And he got all mad at me. I'm like, you stunk structure. You knew where it was. And here I am trying to use my 2D electronics at the time to find rock, off a point, and like seed cover and structure, and use my 2D to find natural things. That's what I always thought. It never occurred to me to throw shit in the water. And I'm like, wow, you're proud of that win, aren't you? And he was all huffy at me. I'm like, well, that's it. I said, did you put a full hand down there so the crawfish would crawl over it and you could toss your jig in there and, get 5 bites and you're laughing all the way to the bank. I said, congratulations for knowing the answer to the test before you get there. I wasn't impressed. He was all mad at me. And then, I don't know how people feel about it either. It's like the guys that have the time and the money to plant massive brush piles. There's been a lot of money won in regional tournaments. I saw somebody in the comments that they hire guys to go out and plant brush piles for them and mark it on the waypoint. Now you can not only get where the brush pile is.
Well, that's a whole.
That's what I'm saying. You can watch your live scope, and now you can see build 50 brush piles. I've got sponsor money behind me. Build me the brush piles, put them off the end of the point. I can roll up there with my GPS points that you give me because you've done the work. I have the money, whether it's a rich daddy, big sponsors. Now I can look at them with my big screen and I can see them there. Sure, I have to use a jerk bait or whatever. I still have to catch them. But good God almighty, there's 100 dudes. The new dude who's got nothing. He doesn't have 2 sticks to rub together. And he's got to buy his own rods. He got 0 sponsors. Somehow he won a frickin' open, and he's competing against that. I think that's where some of the anger comes from. I don't know about you, but I respect the guy who had to claw and scratch to win with not all the advantages. So I think as the public starts to learn about some of the gray areas you talked about some of the comments that I saw, about all of that, it's not level. If it was just 100 dudes showing up, like Mystery Lake,
I would love to. That would
Mystery Lake, no practice, 20 pounds of tackle. Take all that bullshit off the.
No, you don't have to limit your tackle. You don't have to limit your tackle. It would be cool.
Saying, wouldn't it be cool to have see who can fucking fish?
Like all of that.
Yes. Now we're talking. That's leveling the playing field. Like when 2 football teams show up, right? And it's college football. You hear about college football where the boosters are feeding money behind the scenes. Now the rules have changed. But it's like if you're a fan and you don't have big boosters and you're playing this Titan team who's got a bunch of boosters that are really rich and they're sliding cash under the table, and that story comes to light, you're angry. So I think, JP, that's where a lot of the anger comes from in professional fishing. And it's easy to say, let's turn around. No, Bass, clean up your act. They're doing it, which is great. And I was really happy to listen to Dave Mercer's last podcast. For you guys that haven't listened to it, no matter how you feel about Dave or Lee had a great tournament. He had some really good things to say. This angler committee, I feel like they're trying as an angler group to clean it up, get some things, influence bass in a very positive way, so that us as fans can respect professional bass fishing again. I think that's all I want. How about you, JP?
Yeah, I like the idea of just showing up to a lake without practice.
Me too. I mean, didn't they used to do that back in the day? Maybe that was the classic. I know at some point in bass's history,
I'd like to
know where you were going.
8 hours, but
sure, why not?
No.
Anyway, man, I think it would be really cool, man.
All I know is this: I will still, if I was to practice and there was off limits, I would gather as much information before the off limits as I could. I would do research. I would watch YouTube. I would take notes. I would make phone calls. I would do everything in my power. To get as much information to help me with those 2.5 days of practice.
Brother, I feel you too, man. And I think that's the point. But when a sport you love becomes about the most resourced person has the biggest advantage, it crushes that view of the sport for all of us here watching. I think the most inspiring story is not the Titan winning, but the underdog winning. At least that's who I am as a person. I like an underdog story. I like a story about big JP, blue collar guy, wins an open, gets to the classic and wins it.
I like the dominant guy that's been on that water every day.
No,
hard to win a tournament and finally does.
That could be the underdog story too. Clawing and scratching, working his butt.
I don't know. I'm glad Ike won the Delaware River. He deserved that. That was a special. That was probably the biggest moment of his life when he did that in front of the town. What's that?
the class.
No, I bet you the Delaware was bigger. I don't know. I'm just.
We'll have to ask Ike. We know
Yeah.
him personally. I call him up. Ike, which tournament meant more?
Yeah, I saw him at the airport in
Did you?
Texas. So BTC was next to him, and BTC was wearing not a cowboy hat, like a Crocodile Dundee hat.
Yeah.
And I saw BT's hat, and he saw me, but he likes to put his hat down real quick as I'm walking, like he was trying to scare me or something.
Yeah.
And I didn't see Ike or Becky. And then I knew it was him I was coming up to. And I go, hey. Yeah, I guess you had to be there. Anyways, yeah.
Somebody HB says the old Bassmasters where they had no clue where they fishing until they got on the plane. I mean, that's awesome. You don't have time once you're on a plane because you had no cell phone back then. Maybe you had your buddy's number, you get to a payphone and make a call. But dude, you like had to go find them and go catch them. That's pretty cool, man. That's gritty, right? Everybody had the same, and 15. I think they used to weigh your tackle, Travis, too.
Yeah.
So it was like, it's pretty interesting. 7 rods and reels, 15, 20 pounds of tackle, maybe. Everybody's got the same electronics, same horsepower. They put you in the same boat. Same boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. They outfit the skeeters.
Anyways, I don't think I disclosed a whole lot of like I was trying to be just give you guys an idea what goes on out there. So,
well, you didn't certainly tell all tonight. You have more to say, and maybe one day you will, because you could really blow the cover off this thing.
I think there's a handful of guys that could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, man. No, it's interesting, man. I mean, look, about the guys making brush piles. I respect the guys that put the work in to make the brush piles.
Hell yeah.
But it was just I had no idea. I was such a rookie and so green, and I was so charged up, and I'm like, what? You made a 2x4 structure with your son and you sunk it? And you won in 15 minutes and you're proud?
Yeah. I'm proud. I'm proud. Was it legal? Right. Did they take the time to do it? Was it legal? Can you dump? Can you put wood in that river?
Honestly, I don't know the answer to the question. Every lake probably has different rules about what you can and you can't put in. Every state and stuff like that. But that's what makes me and you different. You would be going, yeah, hell yeah, I won, and you'd be laughing all the way to the bank. I'm not that guy. I'm just not that guy.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that.
That's okay.
Reach your ass.
Because I respect the guy that actually builds the brush and plants it more than I respect the guy that sits there and goes on YouTube all day long and hole pirates people's spots.
Well, I respect the guy that doesn't do it and finds natural cover, because that's what I think God intended us and how to hunt and fish, right? So you're on this level, and I'm not saying I'm better than you, but you respect the guy who built it, but you don't respect the guy who goes and pirates that stuff. Fair enough. And we're all different. Isn't that interesting? 3 dudes that have a different opinion, but if we didn't know each other and we weren't on the show, you could be firing shitty comments to me on Facebook and fucking raging against me and going, you liberal motherfucker, right? That's where we are. That's where we are today. But tonight, at least, we're having a nice conversation about it. But we are very different people in our views, right? And JP, I'm with you. I don't want the guy pirating it either. I don't respect that. I just told you what I want to do.
Well, hold up. So it's wrong to sit on the shore with binoculars and put the time in to see where other people are successful?
I think that's shitty, but I wouldn't do it.
There ain't nothing wrong with that either, JP. There's something wrong with pulling up to someone in a tournament where they're jacking on fish and getting within 20 feet of them. But if you're on the bank with binoculars and you want to go out the next day?
JP's thinking about something to say right now, but I know he won't.
No, I don't respect the internet and what it's done to bass fishing as far as the information being at everybody's fingertip. I absolutely hate it, and it pushed me away from fishing tournaments. I think some guy that has a job where he actually has to go to work and work all day long while he's at work is at a completely unfair advantage to a guy that gets to go to work, sit there, and be on the internet all day finding fishing spots that he actually didn't go and find on the water. I particularly like launching my boat in the morning, going out, and finding new areas. I like that.
I don't. I like having this guy give me the spot. He called him in yesterday so I can go there and set the hook with or without forward-facing sonar. I fish to set the hook.
Man, but what's really cool is that we're all different.
Yes, and I just want to say also,
too, but I love
for the record.
Yes,
there was a time when people may have thought I was a hardcore conservative and Eric was a hardcore liberal. But I'm just going to throw this out there, talking to Eric and me.
All right.
I don't think you can label us that.
I
don't want to be labeled that.
I think it's interesting because, I had this debate one time with my best friend. I'm at dinner. This is the Perry household. I pretty much was my second home. And Marcia and Bob was an attorney. Marcia was a district delegate in 33. There are Brian, who's married to Margaret, Rob's sister. I grew up with Robert. I've known him since I've been before. Travis, this is fascinating, right?
Yeah.
And so they're like, they thought that I was a Republican, right? Mm-hmm. And I said, I've got news for all of you all. I was registered as an independent.
Mm-hmm.
An independent. Now, I don't need to know what your affiliation is, JP, or yours, Travis, but I said, I want you to quiz me, because they thought I was a conservative. I said, I want you to quiz me on a political topic, and I'll tell you how I would vote if I held a seat in Congress. And fascinating, they got me all wrong. I sometimes would lean and vote with the Democrats, and sometimes I would lean and vote with the Republicans, because I am a businessman, right? I own a piece of a business. I've started up businesses, and they had me all wrong. They thought I was lying to win the argument. And it was amazing to me that they didn't know who I was, even though I had been at that house and shared hundreds of meals with them since the time I was in kindergarten. Now, we weren't talking about politics when I was 4, right? But I grew up there through my adult life, through getting married, through having kids, and they still didn't know who I was. Isn't that amazing? That you can spend that much time with people and not really know who they are. Anyway, fascinating story. There you go, man. That's exactly right, Mark. No politics tonight. Just fishing politics, because that's kind of what we're talking about. Anyway, man, good stuff. Good stuff, guys. So what else?
All right. We got a surprise guest that potentially wants to jump on real quick.
Whoa! I hope it's Brett Cartwright. We haven't talked to him in a while.
No.
I have
JP,
no clue.
you okay for a little bit, bud?
A little bit.
What's that mean?
I'm good.
I don't want you to be rude to our next guest.
Is it Dave?
Mercer?
Dave.
No, not Mercer. Steaks.
Who?
Davey Steaks, baby. I like it medium rare.
No.
Oh my God.
You wouldn't be that lucky. Dave Mansue will not be joining a live stream with you involved in it, JP.
His boss.
That's awesome. What's up, Pinhook? Banger? People are, hey, all right, let everybody guess who the next mystery guest is.
He's been on the show before.
All right, it's a good clue. That's a good clue. All right, we got some guessing.
He's not the guy who normally makes the show end in a bad way.
So it's not BTC.
No.
Nope, not BTC. All right, people are guessing Jimmy Big Time.
It's not Jimmy.
Jamie from Samadas.
No.
You already said it wasn't Brett Cartwright. Ken Duke. Mikey Balls. Sure Lunch George. He's not been on yet, though. Dirty Dan.
Dirty Dan.
Jody White, Dirty Steve, right. It's Dirty Steve.
Dirty
Derek.
Steve. That'd be fun.
The Beast from the Coast, Derek. I like what I just did there. The Beast from the Coast, Derek.
There you go.
Salzy. The Dean, Pete Gluzek. Nah, it's too late for him.
Yeah.
Seth
Oh, man.
Fighter Man, the amazing Fighter Man. Fishburne would be awesome. I had a good time with him at a classic one time. Big Winkleman. Nah, he wouldn't bring on this light. He had been the feature guest.
Yeah, he wouldn't want to jump into this conversation.
No way, man.
I'll give you a clue. Epic Eric knows him very well.
Captain Scooter Lilly.
Nope.
Man, is it somebody I talk to often?
Yeah.
I don't talk to a lot of people often, do I?
He's a friend of the show.
Okay. Have I ever fished with him before?
Yes, of course.
I've fished with him before. Do I fish with him frequently?
I don't know.
Frostin' Austin.
I'm just saying. I don't know.
I think I got it. Bingo.
Oh,
You want to keep him guessing?
might as well.
TK Stanley? I mean, I fished with TK once.
Kamala Harris.
Fished with Austin. I haven't fished with Frank Scalish yet. I wish. I want to. Could be the Uncle Larry boys. I fish with them.
Could be.
Mm-hmm.
Tucker Carlson, maybe.
Maybe.
Elon Musk.
Becky Iaconelli. Alex. Will from Gajo. It could be Susquehanna Smallmouth Joe, the rock crawler.
Could be.
Yeah. Hawk to a girl. Willem Dafoe. The most man. Joe Biden. Oh man, that's good stuff. Oh, there he is.
Guy.
Frostin' Austin. What's happening?
What's up, guys? How are y'all?
What's going on, man?
That means the kids are almost asleep.
Can you hear them screaming in the background?
Oh, they're not asleep. Yes.
Yeah, dude, I'm like so torn right now, and I told Molly I was working on a video earlier to put out, just talking about Scott Martin information, the bass fishing industry, and dude, I talked for so long on a Sony ZV-1 that my battery died, and
oh wow.
Anyways, I was like, I need to do either a live stream tonight. I was going to do a live stream, and then I saw you guys on. I'm like, oh, this will be perfect. So
I can't wait to see the video and what your thoughts
Austin,
were.
do you know my buddy JP, bottom right?
I don't know. What's up, JP? How are you?
What's up, Austin? How you doing, buddy?
I am doing well. I am trying to concentrate on you guys with my 2-year-old daughter screaming her freaking lungs out in the background. We're in the fifth wheel on the shores of Gunnersville at the campground right now. So
oh wow.
Today was awesome. We smashed 21 pounds, just short of 21 pounds.
How'd you catch them?
Let's see. Well, the water came up like crazy, and I think everyone and their mama watched the Sanko Fest go down in the back of pockets at Red Crest, if you watched. And then so the main lake was kind of honestly open, and the Tennessee River is kind of unique, right? There's a lot of shell bars that are 2 to 4 foot of water. So that water came up, and there's just kind of isolated bare spots that are hard bottom, either shell or just sand, and those fish are up there and those little deals feed. And so you throw a foot and a half of water on them, and it's above full pool right now, and dude, they were just smashing a chatterwagon.
Oh, so fun.
Oh, it was good. It was good. And then we, of course, just after catching a bunch on a chatterbait, I had to go up there and do the old fairy wand, the old Easy E Epic Eric. Hey baby, those are them roots.
There you go. That's right, man. I thought you were gonna tell me you were cranking them too, man. I'm grinding on. Oh, I got a bait on a shell bar that's nasty.
Well, listen, I'm glad this was unexpected. I just want to give you a heads up. Our plan was to keep the show somewhat reasonably short, 10 o'clock ish.
Okay.
So I know you got some stuff you want to talk about, Austin. What are your thoughts? Have you listened to the whole podcast, the whole show tonight?
No, truthfully, I haven't. I just know how passionate you guys are, and I kind of wanted to maybe give me a quick summation, and just as a guide, I'm kind of I'll say this. I know obviously I was like, I would like to watch the entire show, but I think I come from a different background than a lot of people because, you know, I worked as a retailer in the industry. I owned a boat service center, tackle shop. I now make my living as an influencer. I own an information platform in this industry, you know, so I'm kind of a little bit of a hybrid. I've seen the industry in all levels, deep levels, you know. So where are you guys at?
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
I thought if you watch the whole thing, I pretty much covered. Oof. Eric, can you do a quick recap of
Quick
what
recap.
You're good at that.
So we were the whole premise of the show
Let's
is
say
great.
let's say somebody was in your Tuesday morning meeting that missed the Monday meeting, but you were there and you wanted to brief them on what went down the day before.
Yeah, so I think we're trying to have a topical discussion around the state of the gray areas within the rules, some of the recent disqualifications, obviously big news with Scott Martin leaving the elites, and then prior to that, Matt Herron leaving the elites. Travis gave his perspective of when he won the Opens to get into the elites, kind of his education and some of the things he learned that the pros were doing. I.e., you know, this was legal before the information cut off 30 days before the tournament. You know, Travis wanting to talk to guides and people that might have been good on those lakes to learn as much as he could, watching all the videos, gathering all the data he could. And then he starts to learn about what we all might think, not knowing as fans looking in. And then when you hear it, it's the dirty little secret of professional fishing. That people are on people's payrolls, big sponsor money supporting, paying for waypoints and guides. And I kind of looked back on when I entered club tournaments and learning about certain things. And as I grew up as a Bassmaster reader, how I looked at the pros, the winners. It's an individual sport, the respect that I had of them. And then when you learn these things, it changes your view. And then you hear things, and now social media has changed the dynamic. The nation's different. Everybody's angry at everybody. There's a bunch of misinformation, disinformation, and so people are just generally in a pissed off mood.
Well, so that's good. I mean, this is where my mind has been ever since I heard about the Scott Martin thing the first go around. So as a guide in Western North Carolina, upstate South Carolina, North Georgia, my home lakes are herring lakes. Received calls from many of guys. This is where I kind of a couple years ago on TikTok. I'd never been on TikTok, and I was trying to stream. I thought it kind of worked like a story on Instagram where that was a great synopsis. Easy's the best at synopsize. I don't know. Anyways, synopses. Anyways.
Synopses.
So I had made a video saying, I don't care who it is, your favorite pro, everyone is getting information. And I said and I just left it to that. And Gerald Swindle picked it up. Jordan Lee picked it up. Everyone's favorite, Slick Johnson, Alabama Bass Council, picked it up.
Yeah, they kind of beat you up a little bit.
They crucified me. And I was, dude, and I don't remember that.
I remember that. And you know what, dude? I was on your side because I know how it goes down.
Yeah, they crucified
you were 100% right. And I thought it was either so naive. These guys were either so naive, well, they're not. They're lying.
And
I'm going to say that right now.
Dude, so I was out there yelling at my camera, and Molly came out to check on me because I'm like, I was crucified. My business, fishtips.com, was crucified saying, you guys are information. I'm like, no. This has been going on. Dude, I'm not kidding. Like, Ben, do you know how much flack Ben caught because we went fishing on Clarks Hill Reservoir before the Lake Murray Derby? Because Ben's like, I've never done a herring spawn. Can you show me the ropes of it? Is that gray area? What is it? But let me tell you something. Every freaking guy is getting it. And dude, how do I know? I just interviewed everybody backstage at Red Crest before the tournament began. I've been out here on Gunnersville for 2 weeks, jacking their asses on a big swim bait, a chatterbait. You can see landmarks behind me. I'm educating people. I'm going somewhere with this, so bear with me. I had 9 of the 50 competitors go, man, I've been loving your content. It's really been helping me. And here's the deal, public content, YouTube, no problem. What I'm saying is everybody gets information. And here's the deal. This whole thing, I think about it from Scott Martin, dude. His family owns a tackle shop on Okeechobee. Do you know how hard it is to not talk fishing with people that eat, sleep, breathe, dream fishing? Eric, when we talk on the phone, brother, we talk for 2 hours. What do we talk about?
Fishing. Well,
Brother,
a little bit more than that. We talked about a lot of things in life, but
agreed. But
yeah,
I mean, our common denominator, I think, besides just loving life, is fishing, dude.
sure.
You're going to tell me I can't talk, dude. This happened. I'm telling you guys, this happened. Andrew Nordby and I are great friends. He just competed in the Red Crest. Nordby lives here in Gunnersville. He said, hey man, how's Gunners, like, are you guys loving your stay on Gunnersville? And I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, I've been smashing him on a swim bait and off of bed. Because he's my friend, one of my very best. I talk to Andrew almost every other day. And he's like, dude, you can't tell me that. You can't tell me that. I don't need, like, I was just like, dude, we're just having conversation as friends. Like what, our lives revolve around fishing. Like, and I put him in an awkward situation. He obviously didn't want the information, but I'm like, at what level does it stop? Now here, I want to do a 180. I attended the,
But that's not he wasn't asking you for the information. He didn't
I
break a rule. And I
totally
think right.
totally understand.
He didn't break a rule, and he stopped you. And so no pro that is at gas station getting gas and somebody goes, they're eating a chatterbait. That's not breaking a rule.
I agree 100%.
Dave Mercer was very clear on it. No one was ever DQ'd for somebody trying to give them information. It's only when you solicit information. Just so we're clear. Austin's frozen.
He'll be back. He looks good that way, though.
He does. He's got a point to make, too, in fact.
Man, you think he'd have that RV souped up a little bit with some, I don't know, what's that, Skylink?
Hey, are you guys
there you go.
Yeah, I'm on Starlink. I'm on Starlink. Sometimes it goes out at night or is a little slower. All right, so sorry. I understand that, Eric. So let me switch and go in a different direction and tie it all together, okay?
Right on.
Okay. I attended the American Sport Fish Association, the ASA's annual summit, right? Their conference saying, hey, we need to grow the sport. We're losing numbers. In order to grow the sport of fishing, they felt like it was a 2-prong approach, better information and better experiences.
Sure.
All right. Can you guys hear me okay? Because it's cutting out on my end. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So better information and better experiences. So you have an entity, the biggest nonprofit organization, saying we want to grow the sport with information and experience. But then you have the biggest tournament organizations shunning information and shunning experiences, talking to pros. It's starting to become a no-no. You can't even talk to them. They might as well be monks in Indonesia and fly from Indonesia to a bass tournament, kiss their family goodbye. What does Fred Rambanis and Jackson Rambanis do? They both fish different tours, pro tours. Can they not talk to their as a father and son? What about Mitchell, Marty, and Marshall Robinson? Oh, I can't even have dinner conversation with my kids. God forbid, I'm on a different tour. You're on a different tour. You can't. At what
What's
point,
interesting, though, Austin, you're only talking about a couple hundred guys in the world of millions and millions of people that fish and influencers that are really right now more important than the pros, because the pros have lost credibility in a lot of ways because of people know they're paid to promote baits that in the past they really didn't catch them on.
Yeah.
That's no secret anymore. So there's a lack of trust factor with paid individuals, right? When a person signs with one bait company, of course, they're going to say they caught them on that. I think that's one of the reasons that people respect this stream, is because I'm not sponsored by anybody. I like to fish a bunch of stuff. Travis only wants to fish stuff that he feels like he can catch them. So, you're talking about a couple hundred people. I don't think that's the reason that the sports is not growing.
No.
The
I know,
sport's got a black eye. So I mean, I want to
I
understand. Yeah.
wasn't done my thought.
Okay.
All right.
Land the plane for me. Go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. All right.
Didn't mean to interrupt.
So, what do the pros say? Gerald Swindle says we're gatekeepers, we're example setters. So they are shunning the fact of getting information. So
But
now
are they anymore?
Yeah, it's
Are
against,
they? I mean, what really has happened to me is that the influencer crowd is now bigger than the pro crowd.
so it is. So so
Like
let
guys
me,
that don't fish tournaments, they're not even close to being an elite. They're an influencer with 100 times more subscribers than a lot of the pros, that used to be the only ones that we would look at.
let me continue the thought.
All right.
So what you
I
have
still don't see it, but go ahead.
Okay, I know. So it's coming full circle. So these pros and tournament organizations are projecting how they perceive information, but they also want to be influencers. The tournament organizations want influence back. Dude, I sat in a press conference with Boyd Duckett talking about we're losing viewership. We have no credibility. So, but the problem is they're projecting how they perceive their rules, like no information, no everything. Well, so they're
I think they're trying to say no cheating. And that the reason they lost viewers and respect is because they didn't enforce the rules, and the sport was suffering from, oh wow, there's a select group of untouchables that's getting information and cheating. And you hear the rumors and stories, maybe Slick Johnson says something, I don't know where it comes from, but the sport and the organizations weren't respected on a lot of different levels because the general public had an idea and a notion that they were sweeping cheating under the rug to preserve their reputation. And in the end, it killed them. And now they're trying to come back from it by enforcing to catch the cheaters.
Well,
and the honest guys like a Seth Fighter, I don't know if did you watch him on Mercer?
Mm-mm.
Did you watch what Seth had to say?
No.
He's the only one on this stream right now. He's
hold on. I want to say this. Okay, yeah. I want to give an example.
And he didn't mince his words.
What people don't understand is influencers are also being in the same position the pros were years ago by big manufacturers. I remember, I don't want to single out Berkeley, but they offered me a $25,000 a year deal, which would have been huge, to talk about their baits only.
But that's been the game for a while, right?
They did that with dozens of people.
Then you might have just turned into, you might have lost credibility. All of a sudden, oh, you don't like the Beast Coast jig anymore? You don't like, the Nico baits anymore? I mean, you have a link to Tackle Warehouse. Anybody can buy any brand, right? And you fish with a lot of different brands, and you eat your own dog food. You show cast to catch. That's why influencers have now, I think, overshadowed the pros. They got the formula, some, not all, and an influencer that's just feeding you the singular brand that they represent might lose credibility unless they're out there cast to catch. Nobody believes the claim anymore. This is the best bait.
Let off and finish.
All right, so
we're getting beat up in the comments.
So the viewership's a digital media problem. That's why they lost viewership. But they're trying to. You're right. They're trying to win it back. But they're winning it. They're trying to win it back. Trying to stop the whole information thing, brother. There's an electric car out there. Industries evolve and get better because of information. We need more information in the sport. My reality, and here's the deal. This is like steroids in baseball, brother. I've got so many great friends, Eric, you know this, that I have great friends that play baseball. You know what they tell me? They're like, dude, he's on the juice. He's got something clearing it, but I'm telling you, he's on the juice. I've seen him do the juice.
Like right now?
Freaking dude. You kidding me?
Oh, still today. Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And they're like, wow. What's the answer? They're on stuff called clear. There's stuff that you can't test for. And he's like, wow. So what is it even playing field? Is it either, you know what? We just say, look, if you want to do it, it's your call. It's between you and your morals. And so what I'm saying is, like, this is always going to be a thing. It's going to continuously be a thing. It'll never not be a thing, dude.
You mean cheating?
brother, it is a heart condition deeper than the rule book. It is a heart condition deeper
I
than the
got
rule
you,
book.
but at least they're gaining some credibility back by enforcing the rules. It
I
seems
like
like
their
they
I,
are.
and
And
I
you've got
like
the
that.
Angler
But,
Council, Lee Livesey on Mercer again, with
so
John Cruz as the president, and they're really trying to clean up their act.
So here's the
Trying.
thing. There's high school dads that contact me every single day on fishtips.com, and they say, hey man, dude, I'm a banker. I work a 9 to 5. I have a $75,000 Phoenix. I want to have a better experience with my kid. I know nothing about fishing, but can you help me put my kid on fish in his tournaments?
Can they just buy the fish tip?
Yeah, they can, but they feel.
I mean, isn't that what you just tell them?
That they feel so shunned. So many people are so embarrassed. Maybe is that the word I'm looking for? They're so embarrassed because they're like, I need information. Like, I don't even know what to do. I need information. But the pros and these tournament organizations are projecting that getting information is bad. Yes, they're saying cheating is bad, but it's around this whole realm of information. So what they're doing is they're really crucifying people getting information. So then that's
during the off limits. Is that hard to
now? Listen, you can say that to me all you want. It's the constant listen, perception's reality. So how the public perceives, oh gosh, they're getting disqualified for getting, okay, totally, it's in the off limits, and that's the broken rule. But dude, there's so many guys that they need help. Listen, we're talking about 50 million fishing license sales, and we're talking about how many hardcore tournament anglers are there. And I would encourage you, let's throw some numbers out there. What do we think?
Not a lot.
How many what now?
Not a lot.
How many hardcore tournament anglers in the 50 million fishing licenses?
Yeah.
Not a lot.
I would just say, look at the followers of BASS and Major League Fishing. If you combine the followers alone, I mean, look at guys. Look who
it's nowhere near the 50 million. I mean, the majority of people could care less about tournament fishing. They want information. Fish Tips provides that. Social media influencers provide. There's been more information than there ever has been around fishing and technique in the history of the universe.
Let me continue because I want to go down this train of thought, because what I'm about to say is about to piss a lot of people off. There's a lot of pros that, quote, want to grow the sport. And when they say grow the sport, they mean grow their salaries within the sport. They don't give a flying shit about growing the sport. You know why? Because if they did, they'd care about information. They would care about providing more information and better experiences in this industry. So when it bothers me that there's this projection, and like you said, I think at the end of the day, dude, I've worked with enough of them now. I think there's just a brutal lack of credibility among a lot of them, man. There's a lot of guys that are respectful up there. I've got great friends, but there's so much, grow the sport, dude. Most people don't care about growing the sport, but here's the deal. What they don't realize is if they did help other people and grow the sport, more people. Okay, great example. What's one of the most viral fishing videos in the past, I don't know, 6 months?
I don't watch a lot of YouTube, so
I would say the gang member fishing video I did. It had 2.5 million views. It has 50 million views on short form content. Do you know how many people reached out to me? How do I get my cousin off the streets and get him fishing? My cousin's getting out. My son's getting caught up in gang activity. How do I take him fishing? I had over 1,000 people reach out, brother, on how to get into fishing. That is growing the sport. That you have to reach beyond.
But it has nothing to do with tournament fishing. That's the whole point I was trying to make earlier. You're right. That's how you grow the sport.
It has everything to do with tournament fishing, because here's the deal. The people at the top that fish the tournaments are cannibalizing the sport, Eric. They're fighting over the same money. They're fighting over the same money.
When you say grow the sport, what they're saying is grow the tournament industry so they can grow their paycheck. What you did was grow the sport of fishing that has nothing to do with tournament fishing. Tournament fishing is just this little piece of overall fishing. So when they say grow the sport, are they saying grow the sport of fishing, of bass fishing, or grow the sport of tournament fishing? Like they hope the gang member you took fishing gets to be an elite pro one day. I don't see the parallel.
So the parallels, once again, these tournament organizations are shunning the information, are like making it look bad, yet they want the influence of the people.
Yeah, I don't see the connection, but it's just me. But all right, I think I get it, but I don't in a way that connects to professional fishing. But what you are doing is growing the sport. You as an influencer out there
So
teaching and showing can inspire people to get into bass fishing, but not to aspire to be a professional angler. Are they saying we want to grow bass as an organization to keep tournament and professional fishing alive? Is that what you're saying?
You brought a great point, because I think that you might actually just hit on something that I didn't think about. We could actually be talking about two different sports.
Yeah,
We could be talking about the sport of tournament fishing and the
right.
sport of fishing.
Yeah, they're different. Tournament
Now
fishing
listen,
and just regular anglers that want to go bass fish, enjoy the outdoors, and go
totally,
fishing.
they're
And
different.
I kind of had this epiphany. Like I was on Debo's Fishing. He's got 350,000 subscribers, or
Yeah,
like
he's a
300
stud.
plus people watching.
Yeah.
He walks the bank. Now he's got a kayak, and we're just talking bass fishing. Nothing to do with tournament fishing. I think
Yeah.
he's grown the sport
Yeah.
of bass fishing, not of aspiring tournament anglers. Different crowd, different recruitment. Because bass fishing is such a small little piece. And does it really drive sales like it used to? Not anymore.
Well, so then that brings into, the publicity now that surrounds bass fishing, the sport of tournament fishing. Let me say that. The publicity now around the sport of bass fishing is so overwhelmingly negative that it. Say it again. I don't know.
We just saw balloons go in front of your face. It was wild. Yeah, sometimes it just happens randomly on these streams.
Hey, can I leave you two alone for 2 minutes? I gotta use the restroom.
Do it.
Of course.
Yeah.
So the publicity. What's the part of the publicity?
Oh, so I was just saying. So then, okay, the sport of tournament fishing then is like, it's just like, it just pushes people away. I mean, there's a woman today. She's like, walking in the campground. She's like, no, we just like to fish. My husband dealt with it in club tournaments. Too much drama, and maybe it's an ego thing. Maybe it's all, but at the end of the day, man, I'm just like, we have to step back. I think how a lot of people perceive the sport of fishing and then the sport of tournament fishing. I think you hit it there. I think that was really good. It's a hardcore differentiator. And I mean, maybe that's where, I guess my mind is I'm like, I have so many, I mean, obviously, you know this. I mean, I just have so many friends that are in the sport of tournament fishing.
Yeah, me too.
Listen, they completely forget, if they want to do really big things in this industry, it's not catering to the 1 million hardcore tournament guys. It's the 49 million. It's the 49 million.
That was my epiphany on Debo's.
Yeah,
on Debo's, because I had a very prominent figure within the bass fishing industry, and he goes, "Oh yeah, forward facing, it kind of makes what you do a lot less relevant." And I'm like, "What?" And I was kind of in a funk about bass fishing overall because it was going totally that way. And I fancy myself as I like to use all my senses to catch fish. Travis and I have this discussion. We're very different anglers.
No, we're not different anglers. I like to use my senses as well, and I'm fully capable of doing that. I fish offshore a lot, and I like my forward-facing sonar. I also like to get up shallow and sight fish for cruising smallmouth. I like to set the hook, whatever that takes. If that's using my brain on a point and casting and trying to feel and working a bait, cool.
Fair point, Travis.
Or I'll go over here and cast them on my graph. I don't give a fuck how I catch them as long as I'm setting the hook.
I love it. Good for you. That's awesome.
I think we've had these conversations.
We have, but let's not go back into it again. I was trying to make a point about Debo's, and I realized that there's 49 million people who could care less. They don't know who Jay Lee is. They don't know who KVD is. They don't know any of the big day. They don't know who just won the Bassmasters Classic. They might even have been at the Expo, and they don't care about the tournament. They would never drive an hour to watch the weigh-in. They just don't care. They're there to see the gear and maybe learn something about bass fishing. And so growing the overall sport of bass fishing is different than growing the overall sport of tournament fishing. That's all I was trying to say.
Well, so then at the end of the day, I think the pros have to be content with increasing their own personal payouts, because businesses will continue to pump less money. Businesses get them, Trav.
Usually it's I'm getting Travis, but I just wanted to show that Travis could get me sometimes too.
No, it's good. Well, I think then in general, and I had this I published a video last year talked about beware the death of tournament bass fishing, because it's coming.
Yeah.
Businesses are not getting an ROI because a lot of these, I mean, dude, there's just not an ROI. These guys don't have influence. One texted me last night, and I mean, kind of showing his tail, and I'm like, he threw a number out, and I'm like, brother, you're not honestly worth 100th of that. Like, like you just don't move the needle like you think you move the needle. You win big tournaments, and let me tell you something. You know who cares? 100 anglers, and probably 50,000 fans. Like, you ain't moving the needle. You ain't moving the needle for a company, brother. And
that's 49 million people move the needle.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So anyways, and by the way, those 49 million people need information and better experiences that I think the pros can provide, but they have a lot.
And some do. Some do.
And some do. 100% some do. But a lot of them have their heads up their butts. I mean, to say it politely.
That's generally in life and in business too, right?
Yeah, life and business. Yeah, I mean, that's probably true. So anyways, at that conference, I was inspired by the American Sport Fishing. They said to grow the sport, we need more information and more experiences. And I just found it funny that tournament bass fishing and the hardcore guys, I'm like, that's the exact opposite of what they're preaching. So it's like you have to expect it to shrink, because you're going totally against what actually grows the sport, whether it's the sport of bass fishing or tournament bass fishing. You're cannibalizing it. You got to expect it to shrink. So anyways.
Yeah. When is your video about the death of bass fishing, tournament bass fishing, coming out?
It came out 6
Or did you already do it?
No, it came out 4 or 5 months ago. Because
I should watch that.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it got a lot of viewership, and I don't know, dude. I have a lot of. I mean, we could continue to go on. I've made a living for years in this industry. I don't know. There's even guys on the Elite Series, dude. I won't name names, but they're making a heck of a lot more money as a local guide, winning 4 or 5 $20,000 tournaments on their home lake, staying in tune with the fish, and now they're like, my sponsors don't pay me as much as I made guide, and it's really hard to win one of these things against the best in the world. And it's an industry driven by sausage comparison and not by logic, I think, which is fine in some regard. People have a desire to be the best, but anyways, there's a lot of, and I think Travis and I think we all see eye to eye on a lot of things, or at least know where we're coming from, at least, which is good.
Right on.
So
what else, Travis? You got anything else?
No, man, it's got me thinking
about
you guys don't want to see me sitting out there live scoping up smallmouth all the time. I get it now. So we're going to change some shit up.
Well, no, this is it.
No, nobody gives a shit.
No, I think
box, just zooming around, casting.
I think they like when you get a little variety, right? I mean, I think
I'll change it up. What do you want me to do? Make 2 videos in one day? How to catch them without and how to catch them with?
That'd be amazing.
Go to the fucking bank and try to catch a smallmouth? What do you want me to do?
Travis,
I'm just trying to freak out right now.
Time out, dude. Time out. That right there is a very unique thought, because right now you have guys that, like, today was great. I was just throwing a chatterbait in the live scope in the grass. It was great. But saying like, hey, here's how I approach the day with forward facing sonar, but maybe leave that last to keep the viewer retention. Like, hey, here's how I'm going to approach them and catch them without. Dude, that right there is a genuine thought that breaks the fiber of the bass fishing industry, in the bass fishing tournament industry. That right
Yes.
there is a super great thought, dude. So
Yeah.
I encourage you, double press into that, man, because that's awesome.
No, I always thought about that. I thought we're at the point
Travis,
now where
we did that. We did that up in New York. We've done that.
I
Like,
need to do it
how
on
to
every
catch them
video.
old school and an inline spinner.
Yes,
I mean,
I
holy
need to do
crap!
that on every video.
It had nothing to do with live scope. It was like how to approach it. What's the best jig head? What's the weight? What's Kitech 2.8? How do you keep it on the hook? I mean, holy crap, those videos were very well received. People loved it, man. I mean, that's a genuine
that's
great
right.
thought.
And
Keep
that's
it going.
and my avenue has been taking homeless people and gang members and teaching them, like physically teaching them while I'm fishing. And yeah, I'm still scoping. If I see a giant, I'll go catch a giant, but like literally hands-on teaching. And dude, there's different avenues and different niches and different ways to skin this cat. But
Variety, baby.
I want to encourage both you guys. You know, obviously both you guys have had an impact on my life in a serious way, and I just want to encourage you guys to keep on doing it, keep pressing into the positive, and remember the impact is bigger with the 49 million than the 1 million psychos.
That was literally the epiphany I had on Bass After Dark. I was invited to fill in for Brian the Carpenter on Bass After Dark. You know, Ken Duke is the host of the show. They're supposed to be co-hosts in BTC. Brian the Carpenter, as you know. Brian was out. He was sick. So I came on. It was What's Up with the World Record Bass Part 2. Bunch of biologists. I had some questions about that. It was a great show. And I was supposed to do the segment of Bass After Dark. And I had an epiphany, and that's what I talked about. It was on a Bass University special with Rob Jordan about bait hacking. It had nothing to do with the drama in bass fishing professional. It's just about hacking baits, and people ate it up.
Yeah.
That's everyone.
So I'm like, hey, what I got to say matters, and has nothing to do with live.
And that's why we're so great,
nothing
Eric.
to do
You
with
like to
tournament
tangle
fishing.
your bait. I'm going to pull it out of the package. I don't want to tangle.
I like to do a lot.
I don't give up.
Do a lot more.
I don't want to
go.
I'm really.
You're different humans, but that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm getting better.
Don't get angry. Don't get angry about it.
My emotions and my ego and my I want to get to the point where all I'm doing is
yoga.
What?
No, like just being.
That's called self-actualization.
Dude, that's good. And that's it. And that's a real thing, man. And I'm serious. And I think it's a battle we all go through. In fact, if there's one thing that Eric and I talk about maybe just as much as fishing, it's just the state of like, what does it mean to have a content heart that is content with life, that there's not this strife of want, that ego puffs up, and that like this. Ultimately, you think about it, like our heart is really unfulfilled unless we serve others. And that was my big epiphany in life. Learned that from Epic Eric, honestly, just like a guy who took a neighborhood kid under his wing, you know. But you know, that's what I would just continue to encourage you guys. Like,
I got that gift from my mom, man. My mom, she grew up with nothing.
I remember you telling me that.
Oh.
You know, but
she was totally poor, and she gave herself, her time. She listened.
Jesus said, count others higher than yourself, you know? And I think that's, when you do that, you start to kind of live in that place of you're just being, man. You're just like, there's like a deep contentment.
Yes.
So.
You got to read the comment. Anthony Geis is literally
that was pretty good.
The guy that will slay you in a minute. I'm sorry. I just have to.
Yeah.
Right. Brian Wisniewski says, I think Brian is probably right, man.
Oh man, that's so good. That's one of my favorite books in the Bible, dude. Just you know, Solomon comes to the conclusion: eat, drink, and be merry. You know, like enjoy these moments. Like even Molly, dude, freaking 15 minutes ago, just had to tell me.
She's like, hey, so Austin.
Yo.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, man. Go ahead.
No, she was just telling me. I was reading some books slow, and the kids were whining, and Molly was like, "Hey, take a breath and take this in." And I was like, you know what?
That's
like
right.
they're only gonna be 4 and 2 for.
Yes.
You know.
It's all temporary. It's all temporary. Time is flying by. Why bitch about it? If I want to catch them on forward-facing sonar, let me catch them on forward-facing sonar. Shut up.
I didn't say you couldn't. I think
Not
your genuine thought about mixing it up to appeal to the 49
I'll do that too.
million people.
That's fine.
But don't be angry about it. So
don't be angry if I want to go launch my boat with my 3 forward-facing sonar.
No, I was telling you not to be angry. But anyway, but
I try. I get triggered. There's a message.
There's a message in there somewhere.
Yeah,
there's a message and for
enjoy the ride.
What is the message in there?
Enjoy the ride.
Okay, that's the message in there. All right, that's cool.
That's a decent takeaway.
I went to the doctor's the other day. I wrote it down. My blood pressure.
Oh,
is 150 over 93 good?
No. 120 over, I can't remember what the other one's supposed to be. That's a little elevated.
Yeah, that's what they said.
You got a little hypertension going on. You probably need to learn the relaxation technique. Yeah. Maybe do some meditation.
Maybe. Who says I don't?
It doesn't seem to be working.
Why are you assuming? Why are you judging?
See, there you go again. There's that blood pressure. It's about to raise up. You're projecting, and I'm only asking the questions.
Hey guys, it is late.
All right.
Oh look, there's the balloons
again. Austin, thanks for the
yeah, man.
Appearance.
Yeah, man. Thanks for letting me hop on. You guys just know I'm super passionate about this industry and seeing people's lives impacted by the industry. I mean, that's the coolest thing. Seeing you guys are in spots of influence. Maybe we'll do the balloons again. You guys are in spots. You guys are in spots of influence, and you guys impact a lot of people. I would just say keep shining the light and making a positive impact above all things. So
that's what I try to do for sure, man. I love it, man. Well, Austin, man, keep it rolling, my brother.
All right.
And, we'll talk soon. Yeah, I hadn't talked to you in about 3 weeks.
When you taking that RV up here, bud?
So Molly and I had just closed on 125 acres on Kentucky Lake, and we're planning on starting construction in maybe a month or so. We got to get our house sold in North Carolina, and we have a couple rental properties for sale. And then once we're kind of home in Kentucky, I told her, I'm like, dude, it's super centrally located. It's a little far from New York, but I'm like, we're going to hop in the fifth wheel, dude. We want to do a whole Northeast swing. So
all right.
Right on.
I just pulled out my box of big swim baits today, and I thought about you actually.
Heck yeah.
This afternoon. Yeah.
Going swimming and wigging out.
No, that too. No, I didn't think of that. I just thought, get this big ass box of swim baits. And I looked at everyone, I pulled them out, I shook them, and then I couldn't put them all back in properly, and I had to fucking slam them. I had a little issue. Yeah, that truly happened. All those big hooks you sold me, I had to fucking press them in these little,
That's awesome.
Blood pressure,
swivels, these O-rings that are that big.
Oh, they're big.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways.
Someone said, did you willingly move to Kentucky? Heck yeah, man. Kentucky's beautiful.
Did you willingly move?
Just for the bourbon. I'm kidding.
That's funny.
All right, guys. I'm out.
All right, man. Thanks for coming to Austin. You got it, man. Give my best to the fam. We'll see you, brother. Peace.
You got it.
Well, that was good
stuff, man. That was good, man. Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to hear his video about Scott Martin. Sounds like he's going to be posting one soon.
Yeah,
he's got the.
I don't think I said anything too bad tonight. I was just trying to.
No, I think you did great. Dude, you told me some things I didn't know about, and certainly that first thing, there were a lot of people that didn't know about that. So you shined a light on some interesting things.
Sure,
it's good conversation.
Heck yeah,
good crowd tonight. JP dusted off early.
He did, doing his normal thing. We got guide trips, man. We got to start fishing.
I know. I know your weekend is first weekend coming up, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to catch a couple brown trout.
That's right. Trolling
Yeah,
is the
Well-
season, right?
yeah.
You taking Brooks?
No, he's a river guy. I'm out on the boat, bud.
Ah, that's
Yeah.
right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Doing my thing.
No doubt, man. Yeah, Travis did do a great job. He did stay on topic tonight. Great job, bud. Look at that. Got a lot of high marks tonight. There were some really good comments too.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It was fun. We had a good audience. Again, we appreciate
Absolutely.
everybody. We do have to pick a winner yet, and
Exactly.
yeah, no, I appreciate it. I'm trying, man.
You're doing good.
I know,
I mean,
but
Tim, look at that. Look at this comment. This should make you feel good. It's rare that I watch a stream without learning something.
I appreciate that.
Because you never know where it's going to go. It meanders. It's wild,
Yeah.
right? It's good conversation, man. It gets you thinking.
I tried to listen to some fishing podcasts today, but I can't do that for my relaxation, for learning.
Right.
I just can't do that. I started listening to people like they were talking about lizard people and how they control the world, and it got me thinking today because I kind of brushed that off, Eric. I know, laughed about it.
Wait a minute.
Honestly,
Hold on.
Something to it. No, and I'm trying to be.
Wait a minute.
I'm trying to.
Time out. Did you really just say that?
I'm trying to.
Let me just make sure I heard what you said. I have to repeat it back from you. I try to listen to bass fishing podcasts, but I can't do it. But I listened to a podcast about how lizard people are controlling
the world, almost like complicated, and it's actually quite frightening, Eric. And
no
listen,
wonder your blood pressure's up.
It's frightening for the collective, not for me. Again, my entertainment, but they are. I am convinced they are right about what's going on. I don't let that affect me anymore.
It
Okay?
does. It
But
does.
That's my
That's
entertainment. It's like you watching a funny movie or a movie that moves you emotionally and you tear up, Eric. Listening about lizard people and what you guys, the collective, are going through on a regular basis.
Don't say
blows
you guys.
my mind, bro.
You can't be serious right now. You're killing me.
Everybody
Stop.
have a good night.
You gotta pick the winner. You can't.
Oh shit. All right, here we go.
You can't be serious. I gotta walk away. Where do you find this stuff?
No, it's
Come
common
on,
knowledge, Eric, if you know where to look.
No. Oh.
And that would change your whole viewpoint on everything.
It wouldn't change shit. But
It
go
would.
ahead, Victoria.
Don't try to act like a tough guy because all you do is watch Netflix. Start listening to some of the stuff, man, that I have, that I listen to, people that I respect, trust, understand what they go through on a day-to-day basis, sifting through all the information that's out there,
killing me.
putting all the clues together.
No, Travis, you're killing me. You got to stop. Pick the winner, please. I can't take
Michael,
it.
okay, here we go.
No, I can't take it. I can't take it. Go random generator.
Michael.
Oh, my God.
There he is.
Oh, my God. Travis, do your own.
There you go, Michael. You're the winner. Instagram me your address or email me, Travis@smallmouthcrush.com. We'll get that prize package sent out. What is so funny, bud?
I'm looking at comments. Ford fixing sonar. It's how the lizard people found us. They've got units that find the humanoids. Oh, this is so good. Thank you, man. Do your own research, Manson. I just wait,
Man, you're going hard on these comments, man.
These are good, man. Oh, you made me
They're
cry
not. When I say lizard people, they're reptilians, and they do shape.
Stop
No.
it. Stop it. Stop it.
Eric,
Stop it.
Eric,
You're
Eric.
losing it up there. It's been a hard
Okay.
winter on your
But
brain.
you know what else happens? And I just want to
No.
say this. No. And we
No.
always talk about Bigfoot because there's common sightings and stuff. But there's these things
I
called
don't talk about
these
Bigfoot.
things called rakes.
Okay, whatever.
RAKE. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I get the leaves off my lawn
And
with.
they're
But keep
they're
going.
interdimensional beings, and they don't like being seen. Okay.
Okay.
And they'll hide up in trees, tree limbs. You can be walking in your hometown down the sidewalk on a sunny Sunday day at 2 p.m. You can look up in the trees.
I can't. I gotta
and you
go.
might find one.
I gotta go.
You don't
I
want
gotta
to find one, Eric.
I gotta go, dude. This is killing me, man. You're
Okay.
losing it. You're Travis. You've lost it again. I thought I had you back, man. You've gone down more rabbit holes.
No.
No wonder your blood pressure's up. Listen to how you're talking. I bet if you measured your blood pressure right now, it'd be 170 over something. You have a cuff? You got the cuff? Do your blood pressure right now.
No.
I'm laughing, which is lowering my blood pressure because
You
laughter.
can see them. Some people can see them. Some people can't. Everything's interdimensional. Do you know? Like, listen. This is almost, bro. There's a. Okay.
No, Travis, stop
No?
it. Hey,
Okay.
please stop it. It was
All
a
right.
good show. What do
If you could
got-
see what I see,
you've seen them?
no. I was just okay. Remember when I got lost on the way to Ontario and ended up in Cayuga because of that time lapse in my reality?
You feel like you went through a portal. Right.
I know I have, and I know there's reasons for it. And I know there's things in this reality we can't explain, Eric.
Why do you think you went? Why do you think you found it?
I don't know. I don't have those answers. But I
Well, I
hope
thought
you
you said there was-
experience something like that that makes you stop and think.
About?
Lizard people, rakes,
No,
stuff
no.
like that. Just reality.
No, that sounds like fantasy to me, but all right.
Okay. Fairies, dwarfs.
Again, fantasy, but I hope I see him one day and I can come to you and go, Travis. I literally would go, oh, wow, man, you were right. I saw a ring.
There's potentially mermaids out there.
I hope I see one day.
You don't. They're not like the mermaids you see in the cartoons.
Well, I hope the mermaid that I see doesn't hurt me or anybody that I'm with, but
I
that
hope
maybe
not.
I spot one and go, wow.
As long as you stay positive.
Or a big, well, I am positive. I try to be. I'm not saying they don't exist. There were tales about them. I mean, but hey, man. I mean, you figured somebody would find the body of one, right? If they're real,
Yes.
right? We're still waiting for that. With the billions of people on the planet, nobody has produced this body
Of what?
of anything.
Because they're not. It's not. It's
Bob,
not
it's
physical reality, Eric.
Oh,
This
so
is
what
the
you're
physical
saying?
reality.
Hold on. Well,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha. So people have seen the Bigfoot, but that's an interdimensional being. They pop in, they pop out of the. They've got that thing, and they're shapeshifters too. Possibly, maybe that's why they've never found one.
100%.
All right, then. Well, there you have it. So I guess it'll always be a mystery, and you can believe in it, and I don't, and that's cool.
That's so
And
cool
we'll-
because once we leave this physical body, Eric, and we're back
Yeah.
in our
Whatever it is,
whatever it is,
right?
we're
Hope to
laughing
see it.
about it. We're
I
having a
hope
good
to-
time. This is the
I'm
greatest
al-
experience we've ever
But wait a
seen.
minute, I'm
And
already
so
laughing.
thankful to be here, and I'm glad that I have a high blood pressure. I'm glad that I feel this way. I'm thankful for everything.
That's
I'm thankful for
great.
forward-facing sonar to give me a better experience on the water.
I'm happy
And
for
I
you.
love it.
too.
And I'm thankful for you and your friendship.
I thank you, and I'm
You're
happy
the
for
most
the water.
influential person that's ever been in my life, and I thank you for that, Eric.
Well, thank you for saying so, man.
Even if you don't believe in those rakes.
All right, and
Or
I'm
big.
thankful. I'm thankful for the simulated water, the earth, the sky,
There
the
you
dirt,
go.
because I experience it differently.
And as always, until
This is
next
awesome.
time.
We'll see you on the rake.
Water.